What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Friday Night. Of course, I'm doing all my audio checks now as the show starts
check.
because, well, if I wasn't acting unprepared and not doing my job as a podcaster, it wouldn't be this show, right? I am CM Chuck, one of your two hosts. Across from me,
Hey,
the other host of this show, the always unbreakable Adamantium Adam.
what's going on, everyone?
Double A, how was the week?
You know what? The weeks dragged. It seemed like, but me and my wife did enjoy a really good Valentine's
Oh, I
Day
want to hear about that.
weekend.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Cheers, Steve. Welcome,
Cheers,
brother.
Steve.
Glad that you're here. Yeah. So you spent some time at the haunted hotel here in SA. Well,
the Minger.
I would say is it called the main haunted hotel in San
Yeah,
Antonio?
it is.
Right? The
Yeah,
Minger.
yeah. It was fun. She claims she's got a hold of 3 ghosts on her phone.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to ask any encounters.
Yeah, I guess they were all nice though. I guess they were vacationing ghosts. So
Okay, nice. Like they were celebrating the
Yeah,
Valentine's. I was
yeah,
like, cool,
yeah.
cool. So
So
did
it
you
was
guys
nice.
do champagne, strawberries, stuff like that?
Not Saturday. We went to Margaritaville, right?
Oh,
And we
okay.
thought it was gonna be good. Man, that place blew balls.
You know what? It's funny. My sister and my dad said the same
It's
thing.
man, the menu sucks. I don't know. The food I didn't think was that great, so I was kind of disappointed. I was like, "Come on, Jimmy Buffett."
Well, maybe that's why he was getting drunk. He lost his salt. He lost his shaker of salt. That's what, so.
Yeah, so man, I really wouldn't recommend that place. If anyone's ever thinking about going to Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. So there goes Double A killed that sponsorship for us today. No. Yeah, my dad and sister went to eat there. I think they took my nephew, and then they said the food wasn't good. I went one time with my girlfriend for drinks, and we just drank, so it was fine. But the
Yeah,
menu
it
looked
did,
interesting.
No,
It wasn't.
sucks.
It wasn't.
No,
Okay, it wasn't
no.
good. Okay, well there you go. Excuse me, Holty Bear in the house says Happy Friday, Holty. He says I heard Margaritaville blows.
It does.
And now you heard it again, so that's
It
that's
does.
two reviews
It
there.
does.
Let's see what else. Steve says agreed. Wow, it's a unanimous guys that Margaritaville sucks.
Yeah,
All right.
just bypass it. Go somewhere else.
Hey, what would Jimmy Buffett do? Not go to Margarita.
I bet he doesn't even go.
He's like, man, I got money, man. I'm
Yeah,
eating
but you know
somewhere
what?
else.
It was fun. She enjoyed it though. Still the weekend, it was still fun.
Yeah,
So we
somewhere
enjoyed
new,
it.
right? You go somewhere new.
Yeah. And that's all her thing. And man, there's just so much history in that hotel. I mean, presidents, generals. I mean, everyone's been there. Babe Ruth was there. So
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
the Yankees played here. So
Very nice.
So yeah, it was very cool. It was a very cool place.
I worked in that mall for a while, and it's right kind of attached to the mall. So I've walked through the lobby, and it's like it is kind of creepy. And I've walked through the courtyard where the pool is and all that. Obviously, was it too cold for pool?
It was,
That's
yeah. It was windy
Okay.
first off, and it was like in the 50s. So,
Oh yeah. People would think like, oh, that's good pool weather, and I'm like, no, not when you're wet. Then the
it's
wind
not.
blowing is not feeling
Yeah,
good.
no,
So
it's not. No.
it says Steve says better food at Market Square, and Holty
Agreed.
Bear says you can get the same margarita at Chacho's.
And my wife does love the margaritas there at Chacho's,
I could go
as
for
well
a-
as the
I could-
nachos.
I could go for a Chacho's margarita
Yeah,
right now,
yeah, as
even
well
though
as those nachos.
we're having some beers. So this is my third of the night. I had some crawfish earlier.
Yeah, so like early in that week too, I had recommended or I asked people to recommend me some Valentine's Day movies so I can watch them. So a lot of people like sent in their movies, that I thought I should watch. So it was cool. It was fun. So.
Foxy Roxy's good friend, the Reverend Vanessa, had some suggestions for you. You got to watch through.
And we had a chat, me and her.
Yes,
because she recommended some movies, and there was one movie that I wanted to see. It was called 500 Days of Summer. Always heard of it. It was Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Zoe Deschanel. So I saw it. It wasn't what I thought. It wasn't what I thought at all. So I was kind of like, oh shit, okay. But it left hope, and that's what I like in my movies.
Yeah.
Give me some hope. Don't leave me on a fucking bad taste.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with it only because like one night it was like I had always wanted to see it too because I love Zoe and I like Joseph Gordon, and so it was on and I think I missed like maybe like the first 5 minutes, which normally I don't, but it was like on TV and I was just like watching stuff. So I started to watch it, whatever, and it was one of those movies too, like you said, I didn't really expect. And I was like, oh, it took me on that roller coaster where like I started to kind of like hate her, relate to him in certain ways where I'm like, come on, man, like this guy's fucking like when he tries to stick up for her in the bar, and then she's like pissed off. I'm like, dude, what do you want? So I know you and the Rev had a different take on it or whatever, but I felt that way. I was like, yeah, she's kind of felt like she was jerking him around.
Well, see, the thing though is that she did, because when he takes that other chick out, he's like, wait. So she said she didn't want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
She didn't, want this and that and that. So it's kind of like, well.
And then they break up, and then like shortly after she gets
they're not even breaking up.
Yeah. Right, because they weren't ever together, right? But then she goes to get married, right? Like I was like, at that point, I was like, oh, I was like, but then again, like I kind of talked about it with my girlfriend. I was kind of just telling her the plot because she hasn't seen it, and she was like, "We've been together 9 years, so it feels weird to say girlfriend." But
there's no other word.
What do you say? Yeah, significant other or whatever.
My spouse,
partner. Yeah. I've been hearing the youth say "so" by "so." You know what I mean? So, but anywho, I was kind of explaining to her, and then she was like, when I told her about the married thing, she's like, "Oh, some people they're not compatible." She's like, "So maybe that guy right away she felt that connection with him to get married." And I was like, "We've seen it happen with like celebrities, right? It's like they're with someone for a long time, and they split up, and then they don't ever get married, and then the next person they're with quick they get married." It's like, what the hell? But two great actors. I love Zoe. I love Joseph Gordon, but that's not one that I would put on my rewatch list. No. It was kind of a bummer a little bit, right?
Yeah, it was. But like you said,
I like the end with Autumn, 500 Days.
So that was kind of Saturday, and then Sunday was Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah,
the biggest game, of the year for the United States.
It's like we blew it on that call, right? AA.
Well, we blew it too, but man, that game. Not a good game. After the great playoff games we have been getting, the gunslinging games, this game kind of sucked balls. It was kind of boring. Yeah.
Although the Bengals did have that, classic what's been happening. A quarterback has a minute 30 to drive and could win the game. But
if Tom Brady was in there, we'd say too much time.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, too much time. Russell Wilson, too much time. With Joe Burrow, isn't enough time. And no, it was not.
I think he did what probably most quarterbacks do with that amount of time. It just you shit the bed, and that's kind of what happened to him. It showed a little bit of maybe the guy's still too young, not really ready. You know what I mean? Stafford's got the experience.
He has experience, and he probably just wanted it more.
Yeah,
obviously,
clearly, yeah.
So
yeah. So, congrats to the Rams, I guess. You know what I mean? I love the halftime show.
Second title.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the hip-hop halftime show.
I thought it was very good. I saw a lot of the 50 Cent memes. Obviously, packed on some LBs.
You know what? He's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
I thought he still looked like buff in his arms and shit.
I thought he was big, too. I was like workout.
Right. People were like, oh, he looks like he gained weight. And I was like, in the face or what? I was like, because his body still looked kind of big to me. He wasn't as cut in the old video, but he was still big,
I heard this, and it kind of reminded me when I heard this, but I heard this before. They were like, man, Jim Morrison was so skinny and young when the first Doors album came out, right? And this podcaster old school was like, well, yeah, when you're broke, and then as soon as he has money, obviously he's going to put on the weight.
Yeah. Look at Axel, right?
Yeah.
Dude, they said fucking Axel and Guns were living in like fucking Skid Row pretty much.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're going to be skinny.
They said fucking Axel would fucking shit in a box and toss it out the back window of their place because there was no fucking plumbing.
And I was like, do that?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna switch to steaks and shit afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
but
yeah, good halftime show. I didn't know if Dr. Dre could still go, and he did.
Yeah,
because he's pushing in his 60s, and obviously that's not his thing, really. I mean, Dr. Dre, that's not
right.
Rapping's not really his number one.
More the producer.
It's more the producer, and obviously the beats.
Yeah, for sure. So. Well, what a collection though of hip hop artists, and then not only that, but
is there anyone you wish could have been there to join that group?
I thought it would have been neat if Ice Cube popped up.
That
would have been pretty cool. And maybe they threw in like an NWA song. Could you imagine how it would have popped
which one, but
in LA?
I don't know which one.
I just got we all know those guys are big sports buffs, right? Because
it's
like we know Snoop is. We know, well, although Snoop has like many teams, like a Steelers fan too, apparently.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we know we know those guys are big sports fans. So imagine for them to get to perform at the Super Bowl in their hometown must have been, most of them. And, even though Eminem is from Detroit, but it was like Stafford was there. So it's kind of got to be kind of neat for him,
Well, but I was like, Dr. Dre's going to be there. He's going to bring Eminem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's your guy. I mean, that's your big, that's like a promoter and their main champ, you know what I mean? That was very awesome. Let's see, Joe's in the house. What's up, boys? What's up, Joe? I know you're out in the cold, man, doing sports, so I hope you're staying warm in the fam. And not sure who's doing their thing right now, but we hope that they're doing well at it. I'm sure that they are. Corey's in the house. He says, "Yeah, it was a great. Not a great movie. Definitely a chick flick." Okay, there's
I don't even know if I put a chick flick.
A hard opinion from Corey there.
Because
definitely.
I'm like, man, that movie's just kind of like a bummer.
Yeah, it's definitely a bummer. You're never like, ooh, put that on. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking about it, and I was like, maybe I need to rewatch. And I was like, probably okay without it.
No.
Joe says I fell asleep in the fourth. I was just telling him my brother-in-law pretty much left in the fourth.
It just wasn't that great, you know.
Yeah, and he says, hell, I couldn't hang upside down. Yeah, exactly. Me neither. If they told me that, I'd be like, oh, I'm in bad shape hanging upside down. So.
But still, it was cool. We had a crawfish boil. My cousin Alex made a crawfish boil for us. It's pretty good. And we're just hanging out, just hanging out. It was fun, So it wasn't too bad too. It ended at a good time, so I was able to get home and still kind of sleep.
yeah. I mean, it was fine. I got home with plenty of time too. Like we took my nephew. We went to my girlfriend's sister's house, and I like hanging with her brother and then her sister's boyfriend as well, Anthony. Yeah. They both popped on the show before, and it was good, man. It was good. I'm trying to think who I saw the other day. Oh, over the weekend on Saturday, my girlfriend didn't want to do anything. She just wanted to stay home and chill. And my sister got invited to a Galentine's Day thing. So Galentine's Day is like you celebrate with your girlfriends. It's supposed to be February 13th or whatever. Okay. So like a girls' day or whatever. Women celebrating women type thing. Okay. It actually came first. I think first appeared on Parks and Rec, the show Parks and Rec.
Okay.
And so I dug it, but I guess it caught on with people or whatever. So her friend was having that. She invited my sister. It was kind of far, and my sister had invited like Foxy Roxy and my girlfriend, but like everybody kind of had stuff going on. My girlfriend was tired her first week of work.
Yeah. It's on Sunday too, right?
No, actually they did it on a Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
They did it on a Saturday. So, she didn't want to go out. So I told my sister, man, I hate for you to go alone. Are there going to be guys there? And she's like, yeah, there'll probably be one or two. You know what I mean? Hanging outside. I said, well, look, I'll go with you for the ride. Plus, she was carrying all this stuff. So I went and I hung with them outside, and I was shocked because the boyfriend of her friend that invited her, his name's I sit down, and the first thing he says to me is like, hey man, congratulations on your podcast. And then I was like, oh, thank you, man. I was like, I appreciate that, whatever, right? He was like, yeah, like 100 episodes, right? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I never see him here. Maybe he listens on at his work or something like that. But I was like, oh man, shout out to Daniel, man. I appreciate the congrats. So I was like a random thank you that I was like, at first I was like, congratulations on having one, or like, and I was like, oh, he's referring to that. So it caught me off guard. So it happens still sometimes. I also want to say again, I'm sure if you guys maybe saw the clip I put up, but from the Maybe I'm Tripping podcast, which they're solely on YouTube. They're actually live now when we're live. We go live at the same time. Much different subject matter, though. If you ever get bored with pop culture, I would definitely suggest go check out Big Ken and his pod. But they gave us a shout out on their pod about 2 weeks ago, so I got a chance to hear through that episode. They're like long format like us, so the shows go on for a while. But when I finally got through that particular episode from 2 weeks ago, I heard that he gave us a shout out on that. So I put that clip up on our TikTok and stuff like that. But shoot, what else? What else is the world pop culture this week?
Well, I was gonna say probably when Corey kind of called it, but one of the first commercials they aired was the Doctor Strange commercial.
Absolutely,
and everybody was fucking blowing up about the voice they heard.
Yeah, I didn't the first time. I had to go hear it again.
Yeah, I had to go see it again too. But man, everybody blew up about that one.
Yeah.
Maybe Patrick Stewart's Xavier
sounded very much like him. I was like, I mean, that's pretty huge, right?
I mean, that's cool though that Marvel is actually doing this. I'm glad. I'm like, yes, pull your best guys from all your other legacy movies. Pull them in,
Hey, Joe, maybe you can tell these guys to open their forbidden door. Marvel's opening the forbidden door, clearly.
Everyone else is, except for them. Speaking of, Joe says, he says, what was your favorite commercial from the bowl?
Which one did I like a lot?
I like the Scarlett Johansson one. That one was funny.
I saw it before. But
okay.
Look, okay. I think it was the Super Bowl spot, but sometimes they air it before. That one was funny. Except that I hate that guy for being with her.
Oh, yeah.
Colin Yost.
Yeah. I liked
there's one that I really stuck out that I like. Oh, that was a good one. That's cool. They made Salma the Hera, right?
Yeah.
Hera.
Oh yeah, she looks great.
Yeah, she looks fantastic. Yeah, that was a great one. The Austin Powers was kind of neat.
Oh yeah, the Dr. Evil.
The Dr. Evil. Yeah. But there was one in particular that I can't think of which one it was. That's just in my memory now. And that one was, what did Budweiser do?
They didn't really do shit this year.
I thought they did do something. Anybody remember what the Budweiser one was?
I was really disappointed because Budweiser usually
brings it, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Jason? Appreciate you being here, brother. Sorry we're late. I did not forget the beer,
guys,
sir.
Is anyone else having trouble? Steve said he's having trouble watching us. Is anyone else having trouble seeing us?
Yeah. Anybody having trouble, let us know. We are on the Wi-Fi. We're all good.
Yeah, it looks like it's good. Yeah.
I did see it kind of like glitch a little bit, but I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. If you're having issues, please let us know. Audio and video. Ugh, that's bad.
But I don't see anyone else saying.
And I also don't know what to fix to do that. Let me mess with it real quick, guys, and see if there's
anything. So let me see. What else did we see?
Joe put it up right now. I remember now.
The Sopranos one?
The Sopranos one was my favorite one. Yeah, that one. Okay. Because there was something about her emotion when she hugged
the brother
AJ that looked real. Like I was like, oh shit, she like have they not seen each other or something? Like, and it looked cool too, like the wind and like they were in the long coats and the music. I was like, this shit is fucking badass. I'm pretty close to that show because I just watched it like last year. Right. So for me, it was like pretty special.
The thing I hated this year was, man, just the abundance of electric car commercials. You know how there's always something every year, and that was it. I was like, man, I'm tired of these electric cars commercials. We can't afford them. Like 60,000 to 100,000. You know, I know they're supposed to be clean and everything, but shit, we can't fucking afford them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, come on now, stop showing these fucking commercials.
Guys, I made some minor adjustments to the audio. Let me know if that made it better or worse.
Corey says we're a little glitchy, and Joe says choppy a little.
Choppy. Okay, I don't know. I don't know why that is. We are like full on the Wi-Fi, like the things I normally check before we go on. So, we blame it on the weather? I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. Hopefully that it clears up. On our end, we don't see anything. Like normally it'll freeze or something. It will know. But I did make some minor adjustments to the audio. So guys, let me know if that made it better or not. But definitely agree with you, Joe, on the Sopranos one. That was also my favorite. I don't know why I couldn't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. And apologize for technical difficulties. Anybody out there watching and trying to enjoy. It's Friday, yeah. All I can say is have a few more. Yeah, I know. Come on, guys.
Rise above it.
Yeah, rise above hate, guys. Rise above. See the whole shirt here? It says hate across my big old belly. Rise above it. Yeah. All right, guys. So, Joe says it's been okay now. So I don't know. It's always, we should let it run for like 10 minutes so it works itself out. But if we're not talking, it's not going to screw up. I know, Joe, I heard your recent episode too, man. I heard you were having some technical difficulties too. Not to bring it back on you, but I'm just meaning like, don't we all go through it? I also watched these two new young gents that are out there doing Let's Talk Geek for a sec. Nene and Brandon, and they do theirs on it's on Spotify, but it's also on video. And like in the episode I was listening to, their video just like dropped out, and they like came on and did like a thing like, hey, we lost our video in that one, we're just gonna put up the audio clip. And I was like, it's part of podcasting. I feel like if you don't have something, even the great Jerry D I know has gone through it, and he's luckily helped us. But
so we do have some more things. Oh, it's Rizzo. Okay.
What up, Rizzo?
No. For us, it's Facebook users.
Yeah, you're a Facebook user right now. Sorry. CM, check your DM. Okay. I'm like checking my phone on podcast, Riz, but all right.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen it on our group, but we're up for several awards, us and Joe and Lucky, for Jerry D's podcast. I guess it's a yearly thing, maybe?
Yeah, the Raddies.
Raddies. So go in there, vote for me and see him.
Oh man, you got to see this right here too. It just went live on threelegedrabbit.com, guys. I highly suggest you go there right now. Check out this shirt. Rizzo just debuted it on threelegedrabbit.com. Shit, even my phone is acting glitchy, Riz. But thank you for sending that to me. Rizzo just sent me this. The Invincible Podman shirt. Man, what do you got here? Nothing better than CM, Chuck, and Double A head to head with Lucky and Joe of Now Watch This. Rizzo in the middle there. Very X-Men-esque. If I learned a way to show you guys this, I would show you. It's not a very good image of the shirt, but it's It's pretty damn cool. Go check it out for yourself at that website. We didn't know that was happening. That's
Wow, that's
breaking news.
badass.
Very very badass. Do we have to buy our own, or do we get a copy of that? I don't know if we get a shirt. No, I'm kidding. We're happy to buy our own. I
Yeah,
will
we'll
definitely
buy. Yeah.
be buying one of
Shit,
those
you keep doing this,
tonight.
we will. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Rizzo, for that amazing art. Uh, Joe, I don't know if you've seen that. You got to tell Luck, man. Send him the link. Yeah, let me read you guys really quickly some of the categories from the Raddies that we are nominated in. Guys, you got to go vote for us in the Raddies. It's a Google Doc.
And
You can vote.
not just us two, but CM is nominated several times himself for guest. I think it was like best food commercials. There's one for
Yeah,
best guest appearances, like for wrestling episode.
one of them I'm in an ensemble. Two of them I'm in an ensemble. I'm in one category twice. Two ensembles. I'm
Yeah,
in
you
a.
are. I was
I'm in
like, oh
a.
man.
I'm in a Batman ensemble with Joe. Joe from Now Watch This. So we're both in that one. Vote for that one because we want to see Joe take home a ratty too. Oh, now
Oh,
now
now
we're
I
seeing the
did.
glitchiness.
Ah,
Okay, now
shit.
see here, right here, it says connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging in your. We're always in the same spot. I don't think Double A is going to do that, but plus right here it tells us that we're
We're
fine.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the right one, right? This is your
Yes.
house.
Yes. That's
Okay,
it. That's it.
no idea,
I don't
guys. I'm
know.
sorry about that. And only on StreamYard does it say that we're not that good, and it's going up and down. So
I don't know. It's
we'll keep
weird.
we'll keep
It's
working
weird.
on it. But yeah, it's the second annual Totally Rad Christmas
Oh,
Awards.
second.
The
Okay.
Raddies,
Okay.
yeah. Last year we weren't nominated anything because we hadn't really been on anything
No.
yet. But let
No.
me tell you guys. So Raddest duo appearance. There are several, but we are in that one. Double A and myself for our Robotech. But now we're seeing
Ah,
the
shit.
the uh the lagging.
No, don't do this to
What are we?
me.
We haven't even gotten to the topic yet. We haven't even gotten to
Yeah,
the topic.
this is my Friday, man.
I don't want to kill it while we're there, while we're in it. I don't know what I can fix or something. See, we're literally watching
Ah,
it bounce the Wi-Fi, but yet the computer Wi-Fi tells us it's totally good. And if I kill the Wi-Fi and turn it back on, it'll just kill the episode. So, well, the live feed anyway. So, we're gonna do our best. But yeah, quickly back to the Raddies. So, best guest duo appearance. There is us for Robotech, Double A, and myself. Um, Also in that category, Lucky and Joe from Now Watch This for Back to the Future. If you don't want to vote for us, I would suggest voting for them. We are also in the let me see here. Raddest Toy episode, Double A and myself for Thundercats, and also in that category,
yes.
Foxy Roxy for her Strawberry Shortcake episode. So if you don't want to vote for us, give Foxy Roxy and Kim a vote for on that one. And we're also in
Yeah,
that
we're
one
in,
for
yeah.
Robotech
Yeah,
as
we're
well,
on two
Double
of
A
them
and
on that one.
Double A and yeah. So we're in there twice, guys. So
Yeah.
come on, we gotta walk away with something here.
I was like, fuck, which one do I vote for on that one?
I feel like one of those. I feel like one of those movies that gets like two actors in the same category. It's
Yeah.
like, who do you vote for,
Yeah.
right? But again, guys, the Raddies, go vote. It's a Google Doc. Let me read
Yeah,
you a
it's real
couple more.
quick. You know, you just
Yeah,
vote.
you do got to vote in every category. But if you don't know which one to vote for, choose one that you think that you would like to listen to. I would say go with that. There's categories like Raddest Halloween episode or Raddest Ensemble episode, which I'm in with Joe for
Two of them, I
Batman.
think.
Yeah, Batman '89 and Batman Returns, and then I'm
The wrestling
also there
one.
for the wrestling '80s wrestling and Roddy Piper's Christmas Carol. Really, really funny episode. Great, great guys that that Jerry has on Kevin, Ron, Manny, and CJ. I'm happy to be nominated with those guys. We are also come out in the where is it? I have another one here. So many great ones, guys.
Like
And
I
these,
said, there's that food one that you're
yeah,
on the Pizza Hut
I
one.
think let me
I
see.
forgot what it's under.
I thought it was Raddest Miscellaneous, but it's not. It's actually Raddest. Let me see. And Jerry's show is so fun, guys. We've been on there a couple of times. We've had Jerry on for our He-Man episode, and he was amazing. He's also popped in before on some other
I
ones.
think there's that one too.
Yeah, Raddest All Star episode. I'm in there with Tom, Anthony, Manny, and Joe and CJ for Batman, the Batman '89 episode, which was crazy fun and
Joe said it's
interesting.
under the Radish food.
Oh, Raddest Food. Okay, yeah, raddest, most delicious food. I love this.
And then there's
So
the Pizza Hut one.
I'm in there with Art from Cozy Christmas podcast. Art's a great guy. Art Kilmer for Pizza Hut. We talked about Pizza Hut at Christmas time, which is a thing. And if there's ever a thing that you're like, that's not Christmas, Jerry will prove you wrong because there's probably a little bit about Christmas. So guys, please go give us some votes on the Raddies. We'll repost the link. It's on our Facebook page and our Facebook group.
And on Jerry's.
Yeah, it takes you about a maybe 1 minute, if that. But we want to bring home these Raddies.
And that's not the only thing. Apparently, CM is going to be guesting on a few more episodes. So
yeah, so many of the people that you see that are in some of those categories, like Anthony, Tom, Julia is not there, but there is a fantastic Christmas show called "Tis the Podcast." I listened to it all last year because one of their hosts, Anthony Caruso, wrote a book and actually got him and his podcast co-hosts and all of the other Christmas podcast hosts he knows, including Jerry, Manny, CJ, to read chapters from his book. It's like a 34 chapter book, but it's really fun. It reads just like a Christmas movie, guys, a Hallmark movie. It's so much fun. It's called Another Christmas Story. I started it on December 1, and I listened to it all the way up to Christmas Day pretty much, and finished it. It was a great book, and they cover a variety of Christmas topics as well. But yes, I feel very excited and honored to be invited to come be on their show. Please go check them out, www.tisthepodcast.com. They're also on Spotify and all the podcast places. But yes, I will be doing an episode on Spider-Man with them. I reposted the image. I don't think we're recording until next week. I have plans to go tomorrow for my second viewing. We're going to watch in the IMAX because I was like, I need to refresh my memory to see
Spider-Man?
it. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Okay.
Taking my nephew is going to go. My girlfriend wants to go. My sister and my dad all wanted to go. I was surprised because they're not big watching the theater twice people. But they were all like, I mean, I was like, if we're going to do it again, we're going to do IMAX, you know what I mean? And my original thought was to do D-Box, but it's not in D-Box. The only theater I think in San Antonio with D-Box though is actually the one right here in McCreeless, Cinemark. Oh. And they told us, they go, oh, we only keep a certain movie in D-Box for like the first 2-3 weeks. Yeah. And I said, well, what's in D-Box right now? They said Moonfall, which I was like, okay, that makes sense.
The end of the world movie.
Yeah, and then they said, and Jackass. I was like, you have those two? And that's kind of an odd pairing. Why wouldn't you just leave Spider-Man there and ride that money out? Like, but okay. But guys, please check me out when I do come out on Tis the Podcast.
Now we'll have a date though when that episode will come out, because it's not like ours. I don't think we do an episode and then it's live. I think they do an episode and then I think it comes out like a few weeks later.
So. Right. In fact, I think we're recording on the 22nd, but it won't come out to the 28th is my understanding. So be on the lookout for that. They also do have a Patreon that you can subscribe to. The lowest tier is $1. I'm going to subscribe because I think I hope I'm not blowing the cover here, so sorry, Anthony, Tom, and Julia if so, but I think I'm going to be recording a Patreon episode with me and Jerry and Anthony as well, all about our topic tonight, actually.
Peacemaker.
So yeah, tonight, if you didn't know, we're talking Peacemaker. It's not a WWE episode, despite the belt and my shirt, but so be on the lookout for that as well.
Shit. Okay.
We won't bury the lead anymore, but we do come in peace to talk about the Peacemaker. Let me get back to the comments here that we missed. I want to read what we.
That was it.
I thought I saw something from Anthony there. I mean, from Anthony, excuse me. From Riz after he said check the DMs. Oh, he says,
he just put the 3leggerabbit.com available, which we did.
Yes, and Joe says vote for them in best beard also, which is, I think that's got to be on Lucky carrying the weight on that side, Joe. I think your beard's okay, but it's not like Lucky's beard. That is one great beard.
And Joe, if you're still on, happy anniversary. I saw it was your anniversary.
Yes, happy anniversary, brother. Yeah, very nice, man. Chris Rizzo, brother, dropped another rumored character appearance to Charles today, to me. Apparently, he's in trailer Small Pieces of Shattered Glass. Corey giving some insight there to Riz. Riz says, it took a while to do. Tried to have it done for tonight. Thank you so much, Rizzo. Again, you outdid yourself, brother. I cannot wait to go on tonight and order one of those. And then everybody that sees it will say, well, where's ours? Can we get one? And I'll say throughleggerabbit.com. Joe says, it's the Cena shirt. Making us glitch. Yeah, as we mentioned that. And then Rizzo says, "Okay, I thought it was choppy because I'm road tripping to Dallas right now. No, apparently we're just choppy. So next time I'll make sure to check the."
I don't know what's going on.
I have no
We
idea.
don't never have problems.
We don't move anything. We come in and we set up the exact same way every time. In fact, I even turned the Wi-Fi off before and turned it back on to let it like kind of like whatever it does, you know. So, yeah, man. What are you going to Dallas for, Riz? Are you going for a con? Is there a con in Dallas this weekend? No, Riz. What are you going to Dallas? We're just going for fun. Joe, yeah, Radish Food. And he also says Art was on the MacGyver episode with you. That's right. You have a MacGyver episode coming out, Joe, with Jerry on Totally Rad Christmas. We can't wait to hear that one. Rizzo says, I'll catch you guys later. I need to binge Peacemaker still. Totally understandable. You will not be disappointed, Rizzo. It's right up your alley. Your sense of humor, your type of show. I have no doubt. Still been too busy to pay it the proper amount of attention. Jason, anything going on this weekend? Anything double A that you heard about?
No.
Haven't heard anything going on anywhere. Nothing.
No,
I think it's gonna be super cold. I think, Jason, so people might be hunkering down. But
no, I don't think there's anything. Nothing going on. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard nothing. No rumblings.
Yeah.
No movie coming out. No nothing. So. Yeah, sorry about all this. It's like, man, my allergies are acting up. My eyes just got like super watery all of a sudden and itchy.
And Double A told me earlier, he said, man, I don't know what it is when I come in this room. And I said, maybe it's the comic. Like the old paper. Because if I'm in an old bookstore, sometimes my allergies will act up and my throat will start closing and stuff. Oddly enough, which my allergies are super bad. Every time I'm in this room, I feel okay.
As soon as we go out, though, I'm like...
He clears that up, right?
I'm like, shit, we need to do this in my car.
I know. That'd be an interesting episode there. Riz says, going to college graduation for my sister-in-law. Well, congrats to her. And then Rizzo says, direct link for the new shirt in honor of my 6-year group. Is it ANNY / JAFN / NWT / 3LR. Very nice. Very nice. And then you dropped the link right there. Very, very cool. Thank you, Rizzo. So the link to the shirt that you guys got to see, which again is me and Double A facing off against Lucky and Joe. Now watch this, which we would never face off against those guys because we would squad up. I think become a team.
Maybe because they like Batman.
Oh, that's true.
We don't like Batman.
We kind of agree with Peacemaker on how he feels about Batman, and he fucks bats.
Yeah.
So, guys, without further ado, let's talk about. The subject of the night.
Yeah.
Again, I did my best to dress the part. That's how we kind of our introduction to this man, right? Yeah. John Cena. Yes. Obviously, you can't see him, but in this show, you certainly can.
Yes. Well, I had mentioned before. When the Suicide Squad came, we talked about it very little on one of our episodes, and I said Bloodsport and Peacemaker were two of my favorite characters. They really brought it to the movie. I was like, man, they were badass. I was like, so much I bought Bloodsport's first appearance, and I was trying to look for Peacemakers, but his came out in an era where those comics are super hard to get. So his is like in the thousands. So
Peacemaker,
really, yeah, because it's like in the 50s or something.
After, okay, I was like after
no, his first appearance. It's an old one.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, shit. Okay, well that's not gonna happen for me. But I was like, man, he did a really badass job, and he looked really scary at the end of Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit, like, because he kills Rick Flag, and he's gonna kill that chick. I forget her name.
Ratcatcher,
and then him and Bloodsport have that little feud. So it's kind of like shit. This dude's like really like psycho.
And if anybody has a superhero body, it's definitely John Cena, right?
Man,
I was like,
holy shit,
fuck, he is jacked.
So when they said Peacemaker, I was kind of like, all right, cool. I mean, I wasn't like all hyped for it. I was just like, oh, cool, So, if this gives you kind of perspective, I mean, Alan Moore wanted to use Peacemaker and Watchmen. I found out about this like years ago.
Really?
He wanted to use a whole bunch of Charlton characters. Well, DC said no. You can't use them. Can you invent someone else? So pretty much the Watchmen character that was supposed to be Peacemaker ended up being the comedian. And when you see it, you're like, okay, you kind of see like the
parallels for sure.
Yeah, because apparently he was supposed to use a whole bunch of like classic characters from Charlton Comics that DC had just acquired. But for whatever reason, DC, like, man, on a lot of their characters, they're just like, no, you can't use this one. no, you can't use this one. Like Smallville was supposed to be Bruce Wayne.
Bruce
It was
Wayne
supposed to be a
instead of
Bruce Wayne.
Oliver Queen.
But, for whatever reason, DC said, no, you can't use them.
This is why these guys shoot themselves in the foot, because I'm like,
Yeah.
give the people what they want. Isn't it all your shit? Like, it's all yours.
So I was kind of like, oh, wow, so that's cool that, Peacemaker was supposed to be like the comedian. So man, it comes out and I think it debuts, 2 episodes? 3 episodes?
Yeah, 3 episodes. I think dropped at once. Yeah.
And man, I was a little late, but man, when I saw him, it's when I had COVID, so I was like, oh, perfect time. Man, I binged all 3 of them. I fucking loved it. I fell in love with the first episode almost right away.
Yeah.
He's a little different than the Suicide Squad character.
Yeah.
But man, it was fucking hilarious. It was fucking funny. The violence is there. The language is there. I mean, it's a hard rated R show.
That big time. I mean, let's say this, right? Like, we didn't cover Suicide Squad, and oddly enough, I did do an episode of Now Watch This, which never aired, the unaired Suicide Squad episode.
Damn.
I was like, damn, lucky you don't put nobody in the vault except me. But that was my second appearance on Now Watch This. But either way, it was great to talk about it, because even though we both loved the movie, I don't know why we didn't cover it. Sometimes we don't cover a single movie. It's just weird.
And I did love it. I loved the Suicide Squad.
We both were gushing to each other about, like, it's rewatchable. I would definitely buy a copy. I haven't, but I would. Like, a nice, like, steelbook.
And it's like I said, too, like, I think the only thing I really didn't care too much, and I know this kind of, like, it got a lot of backlash when I said that, but I was like, I kind of wish Harley wasn't in the movie.
Oh, yeah, right. I thought it was me giving you backlash.
No, it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people that, like, they love Harley. I was like, I thought she was kind of unnecessary to the movie, especially how it was going with Bloodsport, with Flag, with Peacemaker. I was kind of like, she seemed kind of like out of place.
I mean, I definitely think that those guys shone. So it was kind of like, while I thought her part was great, it was like you didn't, you're probably right. It still would have been a great movie without her. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was. I really enjoyed the parts when she wasn't in there. Like, I thought that whole part with her killing the president was like unnecessary almost,
Yeah, that part doesn't really. It
doesn't move
progress
nothing.
the plot at all.
Doesn't
Whatever.
do nothing.
Yeah.
So,
if anything, it's like cool to have her as Harley again. I guess if I mean, like, well, for me, you know what I mean. But I get how
they
you
probably figure, they need her to be the money. But I mean, it flopped at the box office. So I mean, I don't know why they keep putting her in, because Birds of Prey didn't do well. Mm-hmm. And then this one,
although that was a great movie, did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm not interested in that one.
Yeah,
honestly, I'm what Black Canary and Harley and
yeah. But it's solid. It's solid though. Like, I was like, oh, this is like a fun movie. Like, it's just good,
So I mean, it comes in and, like I said, he's super violent in the Suicide Squad, but in this one, he's more subdued almost.
Right. So he's like, almost feels guilt maybe about
before killing
some of the
Flag
things,
and some of the things that he was doing.
Yeah, like a little bit like PTSD. It seems after the fact.
It seems like it, yeah. Which I'm kind of surprised about. But I mean, he kind of breaks that out of that funk a little bit. As soon as he kind of focuses on the mission, I guess that's when he kind of goes into his mode.
Right. And I did listen to, so this show had a companion podcast it was called Podly or whatever, and it was, they tell you at the end of every episode, this is a companion podcast. If you go listen to it, it's about the episode you just watched. So, I saw myself did glitch right there.
Again, sorry about this. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, out of our control, because it's like the normal things we do aren't going to do anything. So other than killing our live feed, which would make you restart the live feed.
And there it goes again. It's fine.
Yeah, we're
now
it's up and down. Like, we're lagging, and I don't know what to something to really do. So sorry, guys. I'm thinking moving the computer slightly, so I'll change it. But anyway, listen to the. And James Gunn comes out or whatever, and one of the things he was saying is, he's like, I know a lot of people when they heard it was going to come out were like, oh man, why are you making a show about that guy, man? He sucks, he killed Flag, fuck the Peacemaker. And he said, why I wanted to show, he goes, because other characters, he said, felt like a little arc, like Ratcatcher, Bloodsport. He goes, but he didn't really get to really do more.
And you really don't. Yeah, you really don't find out a whole lot.
And he said he thought that if he could maybe show why he was that way, that people would maybe understand him more, which it seems like obviously he was right, because people got him. Now, this Peacemaker show is written and directed by Gunn, correct?
This is like his whole pet project. He loved it.
Yeah.
I guess him and Cena really bonded over
He did say they really did bond, yeah.
And man, it was just fun. So at the end of Suicide Squad, Amanda Waller is pretty much saying, kill them all, blow them all, whatever, blah blah blah. Well, they had one person hit her over the head with the golf club, and Economist and Hardcore,
yeah,
both kind of take the reins and kind of lead them to where they need to go. Well, it kind of like shows the aftermath of that.
Yes,
the chick that hit Amanda, she gets arrested. Who knows where she goes?
Yeah,
and Hardcore and the Economist kind of get this bullshit project, kind of like it's pretty much a punishment project. They're like in the depths.
Right.
So I mean, it was funny. They got this bullshit project. They do this bullshit, and they're working with this fucking douchebag. I mean, that's what Peacemaker. That's the way James Gunn described to Cena was. Think of Captain America, but a douchey Captain America. And that's what this guy is. Kind of like, man, you're with this fucking dude, who sucks.
Which what a great turn, right, for Cena, right? Double A, where like he never kind of made that turn in WWE and wrestling. He never kind of became the bad guy that people wanted him to become. And here he's doing this role, which he's done a couple of raunchy roles in between or whatever, but the drug dealer in that sister movie, and he was like in that. I think that Blockers movie.
Yes,
he's like
that was funny.
Got his bare ass out, butt chugging beer.
Yeah.
And then like this is more like I would say even extreme.
Oh yeah.
All those.
Yeah, this is almost like their version of Deadpool. Almost.
Yeah. And the violence, the over the topness. I mean, like shoot, there's even like white supremacists and racists in it at one point. So, yeah. So he said that like in the little podcast I heard, and they're only about 28-minute episode, but he was like, yeah, I wanted to. Maybe this is the reason why this guy is that way, and also get you to kind of see that, although we viewed it as like, man, that was fucked up that he killed Flag in the Suicide Squad, that the way he saw it was that he was doing his mission. That he felt as though like he would not be protecting peace if that information got out. It would create unrest, and so he was kind of just doing what he thought was right, which isn't an excuse. You know what I mean? Like he obviously didn't. But trying to. James Gunn was saying he wanted people to kind of see that was his point of view or whatever. Peacemakers. So that's Christopher Smith is the Peacemaker, played by John Cena. Again, we got James Gunn writing, directing, 8 episodes, 1 season out on HBO Max right now for you to watch.
Super fun to watch. I mean, just really fun, easy to watch. I mean, the length. I mean, like I said, the writing's there, the acting's there, and the directing's there. I mean, it's a funny, silly story. That just fits. That fits really well with this whole thing.
Yeah, let me go through some more of the cast here, Double A, and what kind of you tell me what you think about these characters as we go along. So Danielle Brooks plays Leota Adebayo. They call her Adebayo throughout most of the show.
Pretty much the last name.
Her character's last name. Yeah. She is
Amanda Waller's
daughter, and it's cool because Amanda Waller comes out right at the beginning. This movie is such a great companion to the Suicide Squad because it's like everything is there. It's not like they didn't get people back or whatever. It's like she comes out. It's a she has 2 cameos in the series.
Yeah.
But she comes out.
Which is great. Yeah.
And then like hell, who knew she had a daughter, right? Like
I
was like, okay, cool.
Didn't know. Yeah.
Adebayo is married to a female as well. So they're
is we find out that's the last name. She took her wife's last name.
Yeah. So progressive in that sense. We have an African American lesbian couple. I mean, like if you're looking for that kind of diversity, it's definitely there. That's cool. I think Adebayo is a great character. She's so funny. She's kind of like
she was great.
Do you feel like she's kind of like your way into the show? Like you know how most times they give you a character that's like she's like kind of like what the fuck is going on with this shit? I love it
because it's like she she's an outsider big time. So she sees like hardcore and economists kind of like as these professionals, and then she sees like these douchebags like Peacemaker and Vigilante, and she's like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, this is where my mom put me.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about.
She was great. I loved her. Yeah, she was awesome. She made me crack up hard on the last. Oh my god,
I was laughing so hard.
I laughed 2 times on the fucking 2 parts. Oh my goodness!
What a great end for her. Like, I mean, like when she put that on, I was like, oh my gosh! Like, we gotta see that. That shit is so over the top.
And then when he sends her,
yes, like perfect that it worked that way. And we'll get to definitely that part, talk about that. A couple of comments here. Corey's got a lot to say. Corey, what are we talking about here? Corey says, okay, I want to talk about Insight, a movie already out. Apparently, Miss Marvel, America Chavez was supposed to be in No Way Home as they opened one of the portals, but because Multitude of Madness was delayed and No Way Home came out first, should have been the other way around. They changed it to Ned opening the portal. Okay, did not know that. That is interesting. Yeah, we saw her in the trailer, obviously. For people keep saying multitude, but it's multiverse of madness. Even I'm saying multitude.
It's a little...
Corey says, "Come on, CM. They downplayed Birds of Prey compared to the comics. Again, too emo with Harley Mallet was a joke. Owen Huntress not wanting to get involved. And what the fuck was up with Black Canary fainting after first and only Canary call. Man, you know what? I don't even remember that exact part, Corey. But I did know that Huntress was what Mary Elizabeth once did, right? Yes. And that's where her and I think Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor hooked up or whatever, which is that's like Hollywood shit, not related to the movie. But again, I didn't watch it till so much later, and I enjoyed it. Like I really enjoyed Margot Robbie as Harley in that one.
Most of all these movies always downplay what the comics put. I mean, that's just always there.
Yeah, and then Corey says, speaking of Deadpool, CM, and by all means, Corey, feel free to drop that. Because that's I really wouldn't call that a spoiler, but people have been analyzing the glass in the multitude. There I go again. Damn it, multiverse of madness. And which characters are in there.
Oh shit, I didn't even look at
that. Very similar to what Spider-Man, yeah, okay. Who was in the shadows, whatever. But what's so funny is Jerry just posted this great video on our group. Did you see it? Definitely, where it's like the portal's opening with Cap, and it's fucking like it's like a 5-minute video, dude. But it's like John McClane, Ethan Hunt. It's like all the Bonds, not just one Bond, but like all the Bonds appear. It's like Rambo, RoboCop. It's like fucking Jack Sparrow. Like it's literally everybody showing up, and they clipped it perfectly. Where it's like you're like, wow, that's like everything I've ever watched ever, pretty much. Like the Power Rangers come out, like it's got everyone. It's such a fucking funny clip. And at the very end, it's the scene with Wong where he's like, where Stranger's like, is that everybody? He's like, you wanted more? And then you see Thanos look like this, and somebody like edited his hand where he just snaps himself away because it's like everybody there. It's got like Chuck Norris, you know what I mean? It's like fucking shit. It's so hilarious. But of course, it starts out and it's just other Marvel people. Like it's like it shows all of like the Defenders and it shows Blade, and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool, Punisher. I was like, they kind of clipped in other people, but then it just goes like off the fucking rails with like the Ninja Turtles are there, like Optimus Prime from the movie. I was like, hey, this is fucking pretty sweet. And I commented on it to Jerry. I go, damn, why is it still making me emotional? I was like, the music playing with Cap looking around is like fucking rad. But yeah, so with Multiverse of Madness, I mean, like fan expectations pretty much are everything in the fucking I was gonna say the chicken sink. What the fuck is a chicken sink? Kitchen sink. Not only is our video glitching, my fucking brain is glitching. I haven't had that much to drink, guys. I promise. But at this point, people are expecting the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, fucking a new Tony Stark. I'm like, oh, we're asking for a lot already. You know what I mean? And we know. Illuminati, right? You know what I mean? Like we are the Illuminati at this point. So very cool. Joe says WWE making stars. No credit to John Cena, Joe. I guess it's just Vince McMahon that made him a star.
Yeah, that was Cena.
So I would say that his agent deserves a lot of credit in this respect.
Yeah.
And I do love Vince, but yeah. Adebayo was great. He says love Viola Davis. She looked a little like she lost a little weight in the second cameo. So that's kind of neat. Jerry says, hey, y'all got to put your kids to bed, but I wanted to say, hey, what up, Jer? We just re-ranted for a while about the Raddies, brother, so go back and listen to that piece. In fact, I highly suggest you take a snippet of this and then play it again, especially where I run down the categories that we are nominated in, because we are definitely hoping to take home one of those Raddies, which I believe there is not a physical form of it, but with me and Double A will gladly hold a beer and accept and say, thank you, Jerry, for this. We greatly appreciate it. So we're working on our acceptance speeches now. But back to Peacemaker, Double A, a character you mentioned, talking about out of bio, but you mentioned Vigilante, right? So Freddie Stroma.
I fell in love with Vigilante.
I know you did big time. Now I never heard of this actor.
I never heard of him.
But I thought he looked like a real dweeb, right? When I went to his IMDb, I was like, "What? That guy's like a fucking stud. Like he looked really fucking like."
But he looked. I mean, he was great.
They gave him like the old kind of older guy glasses, this curly hair. I didn't even get his name in the show, but Adrian Chase is Vigilante.
Adrian, yeah, which he tries very fucking hard to make sure everyone knows he's not Vigilante.
Right. I love it in the end, not going to the hospital as he passes out.
Yeah, he passes out.
Hey man, the motherfucker was tough, right?
He was.
He could fight. Some shit.
He could use weapons. He's not afraid to get his fucking hands dirty.
Definitely. I think he likes getting his hands dirty.
He doesn't mind having threesomes with Peacemakers.
He loves Peacemaker. He wants to be the number one, at least human best friend. Dude, he gets in that fucking car wreck. He walks away. Yeah. I'm like, dude, give fucking Vigilante some props.
When he's fucking driving, he just passes out.
I mean, he took some serious damage.
At the end, he's like, man, you got shot. You need to get admitted. I just need a rest.
Yeah. I'm like, let's give Vigilante durability 10 on his fucking card, man.
I am definitely buying his first appearance, especially when I heard he was created by Marv Wolfman and George Bettis. So
very nice.
He is a fucking creation of theirs.
And again, guys, here it is, James Gunn doing what we always fucking laugh to each other about. We're like, God, look at this guy. James Gunn making us fans of these fucking guys. I almost bought Peacemaker's issue 1 because I saw it at Ekman's for $40. The guy had it. Man. And I was like, I know it wasn't his first appearance, but the issue 1, it looked cool. He's got the helmet on. Yeah. And I was like, 40. And then I'm like, now I'm going to kick myself. Also, there was somebody that had a loose figure there. And I was like, oh, it'll just be cool to have. You know what I mean? And it was $10. I walked around once. I came back. I said, "Hey man, you still got that Peacemaker?" He said, "Nah, man, he's gone." I was like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? So,
but man,
getting hot.
Vigilante was fucking funny, man. Golly,
yeah, hilarious character.
And man, he was a badass.
He even tells. Who does he tell at the? He tells him in bed, right? He's like, "Man, if I was in whatever, I'd kill both of you."
Yeah, if I had just heard what you say or something, if I had a gun, I would have killed both. I would have shot both of you in the face.
Yeah, and it's like early on, Peacemaker has some issues, kind of pulling the trigger. And Vigilante is like, I got you.
He steps up and he's like,
I'll shoot these kids. I'll shoot these women. He's like,
which we find out they're not. They're
right.
Not human.
They're butterflies or whatever. Which is
the whole thing is that it's an alien invasion. That's the storyline in this 8-part series. It's an alien invasion, but it's so James Gunn style that we've seen it. That it fit perfect. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, Vigilante probably my favorite character in this series.
Yeah, and Joe agrees with you. He says Vigilante was my favorite too. Never a bad time to rock.
Never
absolutely,
a bad time.
Absolutely. Double A, we kind of glazed over it, but let's talk about that opening sequence of the show. Obviously, it blew up. Like after it came out, everyone loved it. This was right up there with Zemo dancing and like a banta. So it's like this opening, Cena, you know what I mean? All of the whole cast.
Shit,
you're like, what the fuck?
I remember thinking too. I was like, what the fuck?
So Gunn said this was in the original script. This was always going to be a part of the show. And okay, me and Double A admit right now we skipped it, and I know a lot of people had said we didn't skip it, and apparently there's variances in each. In each version, each episode. So I may go back and watch. I think you said you watched them all, Joe. Did you pick up the little differences? I did not, because I skipped them because I was so eager to get to the next part of the show.
Real quick before we go, Corey, I read your last comment. It said, "But hey guys, Peacemaker not my thing. I got to get up. Try it out, Corey. You might like it. I mean, I didn't know fucking shit about Peacemaker." This 8-parter, I mean, it's real fucking easy. Try the first episode at least. Try just the first episode.
Well, I would agree with Double A 100%, Corey. Watch one, man, and get back to us. Do it for your friends at Just Another Friday Night.
Just try it out,
if you like Deadpool, it's up your alley. Believe me, you probably know people like that. Like we know people that are not comic book people, that are not people into pop culture stuff, but then they find one thing they like. Like they all love Deadpool because it's like, it's fucking. Yeah. This is like that, man. And if you like James Gunn, and I know you're probably a Guardians fan because I know you're a big Marvel guy, I would say give one episode a shot, 45 minutes. I think you're going to have some serious laughs, man. But yeah, take care of that pup, bud. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate you stopping in.
Yeah, and man, that blew up.
I thought it was. I mean, that first when I first watched it, I was laughing. Like I was like, "What the fuck? This is fucking crazy."
I mean, it was so funny because he's this fucking big guy and this ridiculous, like it's like my brother said. If any of you have seen the Tick, he looks like a fucking Tick character.
Yeah, shit. Cena would make a great Tick. Come to think of it, yeah. And everyone's there doing it. The whole cast, and then the serious faces, right? They keep these serious faces.
They never change their faces.
And I didn't catch this, but somebody was pointing out. They were like, "Yeah, like obviously Eagle is like CGI, but even he kind of stumbles like at the thing." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't pick that up, but that's pretty fucking funny." They made it seem like it's a real bird, and he messed up. How about that character, Jolie? Eagle. Dude, that might be my favorite character in the show. I was like, fuck yeah. That fucking bald eagle is awesome, man.
He fucks up at the end, though.
Yeah, he did. Well, he is a fucking wild animal, I guess. But, dude, when he gives fucking Peacemaker that hug in episode 1, I was like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? It's so off the wall. You know what I mean? Robert Patrick, obviously, we know him.
Good.
T2 fame.
I was really surprised.
Really great in that Walking Dead episode he came out in. Guy still got it. Amazing in T2. But what's really amazing in this, in the role he was playing, Peacemaker's dad, white supremacist asshole, and he was every bit a piece of shit dad. I was like, wow, this guy's playing this role. I was like, fuck him, man. He sucks. Another real character that he does play, White Dragon, which was a white supremacist character.
I'm surprised.
KKK character.
Yeah.
So they, again, pulling no punches with that shit or whatever. So,
but apparently also the designer of the Peacemaker outfit, the designer of the helmets, he's actually pretty fucking smart. He's got a whole warehouse like in the house that he can access to, that changes, like it looks like it's part of like a garage or something, but then it changes into this whole lab.
It's like the room in Hermione's the Harry Potter tents, when they go into tents and it's like this big, it's like a small tent, but it's like huge inside. So what did Peacemaker corrects it? He's like, oh, it's micro whatever room or whatever that it like goes bigger. So they take a lot of they make a lot of references, right, to the DCEU. They're like not afraid to
finally they do that finally.
And look, we just talked earlier about how uptight they fucking were, right? And I'm like, it was like they gave James Gunn like, hey, we don't give a fuck about this universe anymore.
Even then, it seems like they were still kind of like nitpicking here and there, like man, you can't say this, and I don't know about this, and even that big cameo at the end, he was saying that he didn't know if they were going to let him do it or not, you know? So, I mean, it was kind of like, oh, okay.
Which was, it didn't need that, but that was very, very fucking cool.
It was great. No, I mean, it shocked me. I was like, holy shit.
I was shocked in episode 1 or 2 when they mentioned Batmite. Like, they straight up talk about Batmite. Like, I was like, oh, wow, you guys are, that's like, to me, I'm like, now it's part of it. I was reading some comments, people were like, oh, that makes this canon now, and I was like, it was always canon, guys. Like, like the Suicide Squad was canon, and then obviously this show is going to be canon. Like, what made you think it wasn't going to be? Because it's like kind of funny and it's like tongue in cheek,
though, man. It's kind of like, oh, this is that. They're just not very good in the movie business.
They're so protective, I think, especially of.
It's like, man, just let the characters go, man. It's okay if they, say something about Superman and Batman. It's like, man.
Yeah, especially when we get, what Aquaman and Flash say to each other or whatever. So that's pretty cool.
Finally,
A couple of other characters let's talk about here. Okay. Jennifer Holland, beautiful, as Agent Amelia Harcourt. She was in the Suicide Squad.
Yes, she was.
I didn't remember her from the end.
Yes, actually, she's throughout the movie of the Suicide Squad.
Is she really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, her and Economist are in there.
I do remember Economist. Yes. He sticks out or whatever.
So I loved her. I thought she was great, and for whatever reason, it was like during the middle of the season, people were giving James Gunn shit about casting her because apparently that's his girlfriend. Oh, they're dating.
No shit.
Yes. And for a long time, and so
way
people,
to go, James Gunn.
But people have said this role could have went to someone else. I'm like, really?
She was fantastic.
First off, thinking, okay, this is Suicide Squad, and then this is Peacemaker. what fucking actresses were lining up to play Amelia Harcourt,
right?
You know, in this fucking John Cena project. Right. Like, come on, people.
Right.
Like, no one gave shit to Tim Burton for always casting Helena Bonham Carter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, back
or
off.
Rob Zombie with Sherry Moon.
Yeah, Sherry Moon. It's kind of. It's not like this role is a fucking coveted role that Kate Winslet was lining up to play.
Not even that, but if you'd have asked me, you know, before this show started, who's James Gunn's girlfriend, I'd be like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I didn't even know. I watched the whole series and didn't know that.
I thought it was just stupid. I think it's just people just trying to get something out of it. It was just ridiculous. She's great in this role. She's perfect in this role.
I thought in the bar scene when he first hits on her, I was like, she really like, she channeled some real, I've been hit on the bar. She tells him off good. And then when she's fighting and shit, she's fucking badass.
And I get so invested into her character by the end, I was kind of like, oh, great. Okay, cool. She's gonna make it. I was like, oh,
I felt that way too. When I thought it was going the other way, I was like, oh no, not her.
Yeah, because I was kind of like, shit. You know, he got me to like all these characters, and they're gonna.
We even like Economist, right? Yeah. We even like Economist.
I've always loved Economist, man. And then just Peacemaker was just that perfect foil for this fucking douchebag. You know what I mean,
it's a classic, like your nerd guy against like your jockey, like bro, fucking Peacemaker. So yeah, you definitely like Economist, and he gets some cool wins too throughout.
And it was that last episode. I fucking laughed hard when he break his fucking leg, and it was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I was like, man, I laughed so hard because I mean, he's just sorry. He's just a sorry.
Real funny, quick, some other minor characters, I believe, but Annie Chang, who is Detective Sophia Song, she was good. She was great acting. Yeah. I love the back and forth with her and Robert Patrick with his racism and her being Asian and being like, you know, is that the best you got? You know, like this guy Lachlan Monroe, who I feel like I know him from a bunch of other broy movies. Her detective partner, he's Detective Fitzgibbons. Chukwudi Iwuji is
real quick. Joe goes, dude, when he kills the gorilla.
Oh man, that was fucking awesome, man. What a great scene. I mean, right there, if you guys want to go, and spoiler alerts, guys, I didn't fucking say that, but spoilers way ahead for fucking Peacemaker right here. We're ruining the shit out of this show. But if you want to fucking see a gorilla get killed with a chainsaw, watch the Peacemaker. Didn't it have so many like Punisher Warzone moments? I was like, and let me tell you guys, this is a side note, a sidetrack here, as podcasts do. I just watched with my girlfriend the other night. We had a long fucking day at work. We worked overtime 2 hours. So we had a 10-hour day, and we were fucking both like brain fried or whatever. And we were like, she's like, just put anything on. And I was like, HBO Max. I was like, Nobody. I've been wanting to see that. It looks good. Nobody. Fucking my boy from Better Call Saul. Saul Goodman. Bob Odenkirk. I love Bob Odenkirk in Breaking Bad and in Better Call Saul. But it's also got Christopher Lloyd, the RZA, and guys, this movie does not make any qualms about what it is. Much like Punisher Warzone, it is just fucking gratuitous violence. It is. You don't have to think about it. You can get up and go take a piss, go get a drink, and come back and not miss anything, any vital plot points. We were both like. She goes, man, babe, that's such a great movie. And I go, right? It felt like the perfect anecdote to the day where it was like, it was just mind-numbingly good. Like, I was like, I would watch it again. I would pick up a copy. That's how damn good. And me and her never agree on shit, so have a moment like that. And Peacemaker feels in this vein, like we said, Punisher Warzone, where, you know, the Ray Stevenson version, where it's just like, what the fuck? A guy gets shotgunned in the face. That shit happened in this show like that.
It's not a popular opinion, but that is my favorite Punisher movie, just because it's so violent.
That's a hot take.
Just because it's so fucking violent.
That's a hot take, double A. But you know, I'm there for it. I'm like, fuck yeah, all right. You know, I want a copy of that. just like I'll pop that shit on and just enjoy it.
Yeah, I think brother. That's right.
That's right. Yeah, and your brother was so hyped about that shotgun in the face.
He loved that part.
He was like, I was fucking like, because it's like that's what I want to fucking see in the movie. Just give me the shit.
There was hardly anyone in the theater, but man, me, CM, and my brother were laughing as hard as you can. And
there's a lot of bad parts of that movie.
I think we even inspired some other people to laugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of the essence of Garth Ennis they don't capture, but the other stuff is fucking great. Yeah. So, quick on the comments. Joe says the serious faces on them. Yeah, we mentioned that. He says never skip the intro. People were like, the neighbor is Batmite.
Man, the neighbor.
Okay, man. That's cool. I mean, you know, I'm up for it. All right, here we go.
Neighbor, man.
Yeah. Here we go. Corey says, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Good,
and don't get me wrong. I'm big on pop culture. I'm a big Marvel fanatic. DC hasn't been entertaining me. Good night, guys. Good night, Corey. One episode.
If we had a choice, obviously for us, it's Marvel. But we do love everything. I mean,
we do love everything.
Me and CM have gone to DC. We've gone to Dark Horse. We've gone to Image.
Earlier, Joe said it himself. He said, "Y'all love Batman," and he's right. We have quite a few episodes where we talk positively about Batman. I was like, "Hey, we were at DC Pop Up. We met fucking Jim Lee. You know what I mean?" I'm on record on this show for saying my favorite character of all superheroes is Superman. So. He doesn't get more DC than that guy. So, you know what I mean? We did an episode on Smallville, which is a DC show. So, no, we love the entire realm of it or whatever.
They got classic characters. I mean, it is Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Flash.
And we get people being disenfranchised with let's like double they said regarding the actress. I can't even believe that James Gunn got shit for that because I was like, come on. You could almost consider the first Suicide Squad, not the Suicide Squad, a flop. People didn't like it,
and it's not make a shitload of money.
And it's not really that great. You get some bright spots out of it, but
I didn't like that one at all.
I mean, I liked Harley in that one. I did think Will Smith was cool.
It's fine, but I don't know. There's something even in his performance.
I didn't even hate Jared Leto Joker that much. Like I didn't hate it. Like I was like, it's different. Okay, like
I'm always up for the Joker. Like kind of different versions. I'm always up for that because I mean that's all we've seen. We never really seen a Joker played the same way twice, have we?
That's true. That's true. I mean, that's how many people get the different interpretations of it.
I mean, Jack Nicholson is a gangster. Cesar Romero is that Joker clown.
Yeah, the comedian.
Keith Ledger is that anarchist.
The anarchist.
Joaquin Phoenix is that failed comedian.
Yeah.
Jared Leto was his kind of like the crime boss.
The crime boss one, Joker, definitely. Yeah.
Or the pimp, whatever you want to call him.
Right. So. And my sister actually really likes that original Suicide Squad because she goes, I love the Joker Harley kind of love story. And it's like, right, that's not really fleshed out anywhere else. And you do get that classic scene where they're in the classic outfits, which is kind of cool to see that,
I've actually said too, like the Suicide Squad premise is actually pretty damn interesting and it's pretty cool that DC even came up with that. I mean, that's a really cool premise.
It is.
To get these cons that are locked up for life and to give them suicide missions. I mean, that, and if they come back, cool. If they don't, hey, oh well.
Would you say
that's actually a pretty damn cool premise?
Yeah, it really is. I didn't even know that's what it was really originally the premise was until I think I saw that first from Task Force X.
I was like, cool.
Would you say that maybe that the X-Force series you got me to kind of get into is going to be a little bit
to kind of tell Wolverine to use force.
Wolverine, Warpath,
Domino, like the real hardcore.
Deadpool, isn't Deadpool?
He joins later on. That initial.
I own those 2 hardcover books because after you had me read them, I was like, "This is fucking badass."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, where he lets Wolverine just go.
Yeah, and I had read those before I even knew about the Suicide Squad. Again, guys, sorry about the technical difficulties tonight.
I don't know what's going on.
No idea with the internet, and sometimes it takes us to open and close it, which I'll try next time, a couple times before we see. But it's just looking like. In one area of the computer it says our Wi-Fi is full, in the other one it says that it's not doing so.
And it could be maybe a StreamYard. Maybe it's a StreamYard.
Yeah, it might be StreamYard. Yeah, I don't know.
So I had always liked that premise. I was like, man, that's a really badass premise. And you get to have certain characters like a Peacemaker pop up, like a Bloodsport pop up. Right. Like a Harley Quinn, maybe get more time. Like a Flag,
Yeah, all the ones we saw in the Suicide Squad with James Gunn, where he goes and grabs this like collection of random characters or whatever, and like you said, from out of that we get this Peacemaker character,
And again, we're just fleshing it out more and more in this series. I mean, he had a rough childhood. He's raised by a white supremacist. Accidentally kills his little brother on a play fight, which the dad, Robert Patrick, makes some fight.
Yeah.
Like fist to fist.
For money. They're bets. They're taking bets.
But somehow, Peacemaker, really pops the shit out of his brother, and the brother kind of, goes into, a seizure and ends up dying. And pretty much, the dad blames Cena or Peacemaker for, you did this. You killed him, you dumb son of a bitch. Right. I was like, wow, really? Motherfucker. You didn't want to fight him. They were super tight, and the brothers were super, super tight. And I think it's because of the brother that he gets him into this love of the 80s hair metal.
Yes.
Which we hear prominently throughout the whole series.
So all real bands, right? Because I know James Gunn's big on his music.
Pussycat is a real band. Motley Crue, obviously. All these other bands that they mentioned, they are real bands. And I've heard them. I love those bands, too. Nice. I love the 80s hair bands. They're really good bands. I mean, it's pretty simple rock. It's riffs with sex, mostly sex.
What about the band Double A that he gets in that conversation with Economist about? They're kind of not bonding, but then they bond on that one band.
The 11th Street Boys.
Yeah, he's like, that's actually this or whatever. Yeah. They start, it's a great moment, man. I was like, that's pretty cool. It's like the jock and the, bonding. It almost reminded me a little bit of, did you watch 21 Jump Street?
Yes, I did. With Channing Tatum.
I love the first one. Guys, I was not a Channing Tatum fan. All I knew him was fucking Magic Mike and the fucking dancing movies. Yeah. And I was like, I don't care. This guy is like, I mean, obviously a good looking guy, but I'm like, I'm not going to watch any of this guy's shit. And in that movie, he won me over. I was like, oh, dude, he won me. He was so hilarious. Him and Jonah Hill were fucking great. But it reminded me of that. Economist and John Cena's relationship is kind of like that.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a really good dynamic.
I always love that line. I say it to my wife. I'm like, hey, what's up? Not so Slim Shady.
Yeah, man, it's so great. It's so great.
But I never saw that. But yeah, man, it's just a perfect foil. Every time they fucking go at it with each other, I just started fucking laughing. Mm-hmm. Peacemaker and Economist, they're just so fucking stupid. I mean, man, he's like, because Economist, some shit goes down in episode 1, where pretty much the whole apartment parking lot, blows up, whatever.
Well, when
he's fucking some chick who turns out to be a butterfly. Well, dumbass leaves like the whole, dossier fucking there. Right. She starts reading it, seeing what his mission is, and she's like, oh shit, he's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
So she tries to kill him first.
And what does he kill her with? Some type of explosive.
An explosive.
Was it the helmet?
It was
the helmet.
Yes. And, so they're like, okay, we can't have Peacemaker at the scene. We need him.
Yeah.
Get someone else. Get someone else's fingerprints. Well, fucking Economist gets the dad.
Uses the dad.
And he's like, he questions him later. He's like, why'd you put my dad in prison? He's like, I couldn't think of anyone else. He couldn't think of anyone else. He starts writing off like a whole fucking barrel of names.
Yeah. And it's, it's great because...
like, you fucking fat, asshole or something.
Yeah. And they say he ad-libbed that, right? The names.
Yes, he just kept going. Yeah. It's like all those fucking names that you couldn't think of. It was like...
And some of those, it's great, too, because, like, Economist is a reaction to... Imagine, like, you're filming that. The guy's got to be kind of straight-faced. And he's like, what? That guy's dead. Like, he's like, and he keeps saying... And he's like, look, all of those are probably true, but not Ariana Grande. She's too innocent. And, like, you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, it's just... it's like, over-the-top shit like that. Like, in a way, it's kind of like lesser... quote-unquote superheroes, and really it's only Peacemaker the superhero at that
hero,
but behaving in like these ways where it's like almost like they're like
a douchebag.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
But man,
it's not quite the boys. It's not not quite the seven. No. They're not that asshole-ish.
No.
But they're definitely, bad.
Yeah, like him. I mean, especially Vigilante. That dude's kind of like, he's really unhinged.
Yeah.
I don't know what he thinks he is. I don't know if he thinks he's a hero or a vigilante.
Exactly. Let's see. Joe's in the comments and he says, we mentioned the gorilla getting killed. He says, John Berthal Punisher is in the multiverse. Oh, okay, interesting.
Well, it says is the John Berthal Punisher.
I don't know. That I don't know. I don't know if we will know until we see it on the screen with our own eyes. Just as I wish they would have got the original cut and story. Okay. And then Joe says his helmets. Yeah, the helmets were really cool. So that was
cool.
We didn't really get to... It was just kind of like an accent piece in the Suicide Squad. But in this one, we see that they really can do different shit. The different helmets.
Stuff,
So that's pretty cool. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
To see that. So... I mean, pretty much you kind of summed it up. They were saying like what the plot is like this alien invasion, the butterflies, and their various kind of like goings on throughout, and the situations they get them fucking selves into. You know what I mean? From where what about like the character like Judo Master comes out? You know
I was like, what the fuck is this? He beats the shit out of Vigilante,
and that's like a real character too, right?
Yeah,
they say that's a character from the comics.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. This little fucker.
Yeah, so he's kicking ass, eating chips. He's eating fucking like a hot Cheetos or something, you know what I mean? And it's Economist who gets him the first time, right? You know, in a random.
He like crashes into the car.
Yeah, with a fucking car. Yeah,
and he beats the shit out of him like a crowbar or something.
Right.
He's still like crawling. And then even after he beats him with the crowbar, he's still fucking moving. I'm like, holy shit.
Economist gets a lot of like dumb luck throughout this show, which kind of makes him a badass. Like he ends up having some badass cred after all the shit he's done, you know? Obviously, Cena's trying to like get with hardcore. You know what I mean? He's attracted to her. Peacemaker is.
He just sucks at it.
Yeah, and she's very, you know, resistant to that because there's no. At this point, she's like, "There's nothing good about you." I mean, remember in the Suicide Squad, they're in jail because they're obviously, you know, we don't know why necessarily, right? Peacemaker's in jail.
I don't know why. They never. If they do, they might have said it initially, but man, I can't remember. But I know he's got to be in there for life too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because they're just trying to get years off their sentence.
They get like 10 years for like every mission that they do.
And I know that James Gunn said in the podcast thing is that that's the thing about Peacemaker is that he thinks that whatever he's doing is right, but the thing is that he's vowing for peace and he's going to do anything for peace. You know what I mean? Like no matter what it takes, killing for peace. You know what? So he's going to do anything it takes to get peace.
Even though in this show, though, it kind of shows like he has to be, someone has to tell him what it's for, or he has to be focused on what it is. Right. Obviously, he hesitates bad because he doesn't know what the fuck he's killing them for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he doesn't do it.
The butterflies, which are the kind of like the aliens.
Because as soon as they tell him that, that's when they have that other episode where he just goes full blast.
Yes.
With the X-ray helmet.
Yes.
And then he just starts killing everyone.
Yeah, so he has like a better understanding.
Okay, you know.
Even though we kind of see, and again, there's like several subplots going on, and that help the show kind of tie together, make it more robust. Which again, make it worth watching or whatever. Of course, it's like these over the top situations or what start out that are kind of what keep you going. Because it's like you're like, what the fuck's gonna happen next with these characters? Like they're like in all this shit, you know what I mean? But damn, I mean, like, I mean, like I said, I highly suggest going to go watch it because, again, like I said, we kind of gave you the gist of the plot, which is kind of what James Gunn does. It's like a simple plot, but like a lot of things happen along the way that make it so much more enjoyable and worth watching and robust. Like I said, I feel like I've been fucking smiling like a goon the whole episode because it's just so funny thinking about it. It's like
fucking funny.
Again, I read a great review. Spoiler-free review from, again, one of the hosts from Tis the Podcast, Anthony Caruso. He wrote a great review on his personal page on Facebook. And I was like, great spoiler-free review. But he just goes, man, he goes, I really hope they release a physical copy, which is, I think his mindset was like, I will buy it. Even though I can access it on HBO Max as long as I have it. And it's like an HBO Max original. Mm-hmm. I probably would get it too. I mean, like, it was good. I think that AA, if they had cheap replicas, Peacemaker helmets, we'd be wearing them right now on this show because it was fucking funny.
And when they released Cobra Kai on DVD, season 1 and 2, I bought it.
Even though you could watch it.
Even though I had subscribed to YouTube at the time, I still wanted it. I got it. So I mean,
there's
just certain shows that you still want the physical copies of.
I didn't realize that I had I knew that I had Spider-Man Homecoming on digital, but I didn't realize that I didn't have the physical copy. I just bought a physical copy of that the other day because I was like, no, even though I have it already on digital, I watch it.
Probably just gave you mine.
Damn, there you go. It was a steelbook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
never mind.
But either way, yeah. But it was like the last one at Best Buy. And it was like a little bit beat up. Like I was kind of like, but either way, point being, no, certain stuff like that, you'll just, you'll buy it because it's like
we talked about. If they ever had released Mandalorian, season 1 and 2, I'd be there right
absolutely,
away.
Man, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's super fun. It's James Gunn, who, like I've already kind of said. I know I said it a couple weeks back in one of my one of the quick solos I did. That I was like, man, don't you think that James Gunn would make a great Deadpool movie? He would direct the hell out of it.
It's right up there.
Direct and right. Yeah. Not that you don't. I mean, whoever's doing Deadpool has been great. Those first two are great. Whatever.
Well, I think Ryan Reynolds has a lot of input.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think he gets credit, but I think he has a lot of input on where he wants the character to go.
But I'd be interested to see what Gunn and Ryan Reynolds do together. But yeah, for sure. But no, I mean, like I said, Peacemaker was great. John Cena did a fantastic job.
So John Cena,
mm-hmm.
Just totally the complete opposite.
Yeah, we didn't really get into the whole, the scene we kind of mentioned. We touched on it briefly, but him and Vigilante and the chick in
Yeah,
the
so like
apartment.
apparently, like he's running away after the whole butterfly incident. He's having sex with the chick that he had sex with. He goes into this apartment, pretty much ties up to a man and a wife. What's going on? And apparently, I don't know. I guess he kept in. One of the next scenes they showed, her vigilante Peacemaker just had a big fucking threesome and smoking weed.
Yeah, yeah, and that's another thing too, right? Like throughout the show, he drinks beer, he smokes out. You're like, what the fuck? Like it's like he lives in this fucking trailer park, right? And I mean, he's all about his music, his '80s rock. Like I said, I'm like, I would imagine if the Peacemaker had a favorite wrestler, it would be like Randy the Ram. Like Randy the Ram would be fucking Peacemaker's favorite wrestler. It just feels like that.
He'd definitely be a Flair guy.
Oh yeah, sure. definitely. But it was just fucking like a lot of fun, man. Like, and nobody was watching it with me, but like you guys, like Double A, you, the Friday Night Faithful. Like I knew Joe was watching it. Jerry,
trying to tell everyone. I was trying to tell everyone I could watch Peacemaker.
It's kind of a hard sell, right? They're like, who?
It is because I mean, it looks stupid. It looks sorry. I mean, but I'm like, man, but it's really fucking funny. Cena has so much charisma. He draws you in.
Dude, he went to the premiere of Suicide Squad
with the uniform.
Then he did Fallon.
Yeah, he was doing the whole tour in the fucking Peacemaker outfit.
So he really got it, right? He was feeling that character. Yeah.
And I was telling everyone, and I posted some things during the run that had become like the most show. It was like beating Book of Boba Fett. It was beating everything. I mean, it was like everyone. It was like the hottest show, out there on streaming during the months that it was. I mean, the month that it was on.
Where Book of Boba was getting like fucking kind of heat and shitted on by diehard Star Wars fans supposedly. It's like here's like people that are like hardcore comic people writing for this character that's like a. Not even a D or C list.
I don't know where the fuck you.
I mean, this is like a guy. I don't even know what the Marvel equivalent of Peacemaker is. It's like
I don't know either.
Fucking like I can't think. Yeah, like some. Who did John want to know about? Quasar.
Quasar.
Yeah. It would be like James Gunn. This is a challenge from Just Another Friday Night. Can you make Quasar fucking cool? I don't think so. But maybe I could be wrong. Here we are, Rocket and Drax and.
Star-Lord and Groot.
And here we are. We didn't even do an episode about the fucking Suicide Squad, which we like. And we're doing an episode on the fucking Peacemaker. John Cena did a fantastic job. Man.
Yeah, he did.
And James Gunn did a fantastic
job. I loved it.
Let's talk a little bit about that finale yesterday. Guys, normally too, we let a show breathe a little bit, but
I've seen that a lot of you just don't give a shit about this show.
Either that or you were writing with us, because the guys I know that were watching it were, like I said, Anthony from Tis the Podcast, Jerry from Totally Rad Christmas, Joe from Now Watch This, other podcasters. You know what I mean? It's like guys like us. It's like, other than that, like I try to pitch it to my dad, and my dad will watch almost anything or whatever, and he's like, nah, it's dumb. He's like, and he even said, he was like, oh fuck him, he killed fucking Flag, and I was like.
He took it that man,
yeah, because he liked that character or whatever. Yeah. Like, he thought, Flag's like a soldier.
I know, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, he's a colonel.
Yeah, and then he was like, well, the way that movie ends is like he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, because I felt that way. I was like, oh man, fucking sucking Peacemaker, you asshole. Yeah, I was glad when you know what I mean.
That's what I mean. He's so much different in the Suicide Squad than he is here.
Yes, and James Gunn said that in that little show, that little podcast. He said you have to start to show some things that do make him likable, because the audience won't invest because they already don't like him. You know what I mean? But I like that he challenged himself by saying, no, I could have done a Ratcatcher 2 show because people kind of were already endeared to her, the dad story, but he goes, I got to show that. And yeah, he could have they probably would have given him a Harley Quinn show if he wanted to, whatever, but we all know like a lot about that character. He's like, here's this guy. James Gunn does what we sometimes want these sports teams to do. take nobodies and make it great, and he does, dude. We have always talked about Guardians, and
that
I'm like,
whole fucking crew, I cannot give one fuck
nope,
about.
nope. I don't think we own any Guardian comics.
No.
Unless I own it because it has somebody I like on the cover and I got it by accident. It's like, and that's even that they made them cool. It's like I still don't go buy those comics.
No, I don't. And it's funny that you even say that because I was thinking about it. I was like, man, it's Avengers Endgame is so great, but then I'm like, when you think about the cast that's with the Avengers, the other team is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And you're like, no matter how sorry they are, obviously the Endgame is still badass, but it's just like, man, it's the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy.
But not even that. It's like, and those movies aren't sorry. And in movies, those characters aren't sorry. Because, as much as I don't love Quill, it's like, I love Gamora. It's great. I love Nebula.
Like said, I'm not going out there. I'm not buying Groot and Rocket comics.
I'm not even buying, like, their Funko Pops, whatever. But I like those characters. Like, I'm like, like I said, there's things that are endearing about the Drax character.
It's something about, James Gunn, how he sees these characters way different than what we see them.
He made them good and interesting movies.
Yeah.
So it's like, I would definitely watch Guardians 1 again. I would definitely watch Guardians 2 again. I will go watch this third one.
Like I said, I loved Idris Elba's Bloodsport so much. I got his first appearance right there. I liked what he did with Amanda Waller. I got her first appearance right there.
I loved Bloodsport way better than Deadshot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like,
I loved it
this
more.
character is better.
And I love Cena Peacemaker so much.
It's like a richer movie. Yeah. Like, it's funnier, it's better.
Him being the lead actor over Will Smith, was just so much better. I don't know what it was about Idris Elba. Maybe he took it more seriously. Maybe Will Smith wasn't feeling the Suicide Squad enough.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't happy playing a character like that.
I think the bottom line, AA2 comes down to, like, it's like, okay, who's at the head of the movie? Like, it's like, are they letting the studio do a lot of stuff? Because Suicide Squad feels like they're trying to make a superhero movie. I think James Gunn just tries to make a good movie.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. Like, he's just like, I just try to make a good movie. And
I think so too. But maybe Will Smith didn't like getting beat up by Batman. Maybe he didn't like, being on the losing end. Having a character that loses. I mean, I don't know, but obviously Idris Elba didn't have a problem playing his character. His biggest claim to fame is, shooting Superman, sending him to the ICU. So maybe Idris Elba was like, hey, you know what? That's a pretty badass little quality. Like, this guy was able to get a shot off and actually hit Superman.
Well, it's like you said too, Double A. It's like, imagine you get a script on your desk. Your agent is telling you, like, hey, John Cena, they finally want to put you in a superhero movie. You're going to be in the DCU, and you're like,
oh, no, what am I going to be?
Yeah, you're not Justice League. In Teen Titans, you're going to be a guy called Peacemaker. You're like, but James Gunn's got to sell that
first season.
Yeah,
like, this is Peacemaker right here. He's probably thinking, like, what the fuck?
And then you're thinking, like, are they going to edit it, make it look a little bit cooler?
I wouldn't even be surprised if he was even thinking, like, wow, The Rock's over here playing this badass character called Black Adam. That's gonna be one of the strongest characters in the DC universe. And he got me playing this motherfucker.
Right.
Peacemaker.
Or even Idris Elba. Idris Elba is such a great name or whatever.
Right.
And you
I'm
bring him in.
Really surprised that they were able to get him in the movie.
You could have made him Green Lantern if you wanted. You could have made him John Stewart.
Man.
It's like, nope. Shit. And then again, what a step for them. That's faith in James Gunn. That's faith in that's faith in when you read the script, you're like, this is a good script. This character is cool. I see and I feel this character. Because I know I wouldn't even want to go near a character named Ratcatcher 2. I'd be like, I think I'm better than this. But I have to admit, if I read that scene with her and the dad. I probably would have been like, yeah, I think I want to do this. And mind you, we know these universes. Once you're that in that universe now.
That's it.
Like, that universe's Joker is Jared Leto. Yes. Like, which, mind you, he's the Joker, you know what I mean? But I'm like, if you're Ratcatcher 2, you're just Ratcatcher 2 now in that universe or whatever. So, it's testament to Gunn, his writing, and his ability to make,
Yeah, what he does. I don't know. Like you said, maybe it's like he doesn't see his superheroes. He just wants to make a good movie.
Yeah. And you got to ask yourself that, too, as an actor, right? You're like, well, I don't want to be Ratcatcher 2, but I want to be in a good movie. Yeah. She is in a good movie in that.
Yeah. I love the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and Freddie Stroma, who is Vigilante, Danielle Brooks, Jennifer Holland. They're all in a great show.
Yeah,
The Peacemaker.
he really put a great ensemble cast that just makes the show go. You know,
What validates what all of us Potters that I mentioned that we're watching it and following along with it is the fact that apparently everybody else agreed because, like you said,
yeah,
the most streamed, the most
yeah,
like it was like it's getting its kudos,
yes.
you know. And I'm like,
And I'm
dude,
glad it
great,
was. I
yeah.
really was happy that it was. I'm glad people took a chance on it because, man, it's a really fucking badass show. I was like, I'll log into HBO Max so you can see it. I was trying to get people to watch it like that hard. Like,
Yeah.
you can borrow my fucking password.
Did you sell anybody? Your wife,
No,
your
man.
brothers?
No,
I know. They just probably couldn't see it,
No,
right?
just couldn't overcome that fucking.
Like who? Like what? Like it does sound dumb. You know what I mean? Like
And then, like I said, the uniform really doesn't fucking help me.
no, it's not. The helmet is corny as fuck.
And then the colors, it's just like it's red, it's white, and then he has the fucking dove or whatever.
Yeah, the dove of peace. I'm like, you know, the things he even says, like, I can't shoot a gun without the dove of peace. You're like, what the fuck? Like, are you 12? Like, you know, if anything, though, you say it's good as. Again, Cena looks like a fucking superhero. So while that costume is dorky as fuck, no one else can wear that but him.
Great action scenes because there is a scene he's getting chased by KKK members or white supremacists, whatever you want to say, and he beats the shit out of them. Pretty good. It was a good action scene. The scene where he's breaking into the alien compound. And he's starting off with the
yeah. Oh yeah, and he has the shield.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, as Jerry pointed out, trying to kind of Captain America a little bit.
Yes.
But the episode with the cow. Let's go kill a cow.
It's cow or never.
It's cow or never. Yeah, and even that, right? The little plot, right? Like that's a pretty good parody. Where it's like, okay, why are the aliens doing this? Well, they need to keep this other creature alive, which feeds them their food source. You're like, oh, okay, like, you know, you could put that plot in a serious movie.
And and I was gonna say it's kind of like the similar alien plot. It's body snatchers. It's the thing, you know. It's just this alien that's taking over bodies, so it can supposedly have a better.
I just watched my nephew. He probably shouldn't have watched it, but he wanted to see it. We watched Predators.
I love that one. That was
recent
second Predator movie. No, it's not.
No,
it's called Predator. We're talking about Adrian Brody, right?
We didn't watch that one. We watched The Predator. He and he liked that. But we watched The Predator, and he liked it. Again, this alien plot that Gunn put throughout Peacemaker, to me, it was better than the one in The Predator.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what's this? What's going on here again? Like, I was like, this fucking shit doesn't make any sense. But my nephew did dig it because he liked that there was a little kid in it. So he was like, oh, he was kind of constantly rooting for that was his in. He related to the little kid. But again, as far as aliens, and this is an alien that we know, the fucking Predator, right? He's been around. I was like, what's this plot? Like, I was like, this shit is kind of hard to follow for me, whatever. Like, it's like, you know, and that's like you're going to the action sequences, you know, that we watched probably a shit ton of movies like Commando and shit like that. And I was like, you know, this plot that Gunn devised, like, this is their food source. They're trying to protect it. They need it to, and they said body snatching. I was like, it's just pretty solid or whatever. You know what I mean? You would need someone to handle this, a black ops team, like they are kind of, I mean, it's ragtag, but still, and it's a big deal. And then, of course, we find out that their leader is, you know, kind of in on it or whatever. So, yeah, man, it's got all those things, and it makes it good. What do you think about? Let's talk a little bit about, of course, like that last episode. You know, we touched on some of the things that happened from it. You know what I mean? The various helmets having different powers, and then this gross fucking caterpillar. You know, you have Economist going first, and just fucking basically bitch out. And I mean, like, I mean, he did drop, but he was like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here." Like, you know, and that's the kind of funny thing about this team throughout, right? The way they feel like how most normal people would feel like. What is this shit? You know what I mean? She's got dogs at home that wear sweaters. So it's like a normal person or whatever, you know. And part of your mind is thinking like, well, if this is the DC, you know, EU, like, where's the Justice League? Like, this sounds like a big threat.
It sounds like a big threat, something that, you know, they should handle.
But besides the body snatching, they really weren't hurting anybody, right?
No, but it was just, you heard the planet at the end. It was going to take over, and eventually they're going to take over the whole planet and make it their planet. And it sounds like they have fucked up their own planet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what was going to stop them from doing it again? You know?
Right.
So, I mean, yeah.
Right.
They're killing humans. I mean, essentially, once they get a hold of them, that's it.
Yeah.
Dead. I mean,
Yeah. And Peacemaker does say that, you know, and Christopher Smith does say that when he's like, I like when he tells her to buy that part when she's like, you know, why didn't you go through there? Like, she was making good points. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times people feel that way, right? They're like, well, the Earth is fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we could use some fixing or whatever. And
yeah,
like,
but they just want one hive mind.
Right.
You know, and he's like, yeah, because I knew they were going to hurt you.
Right. And he kind of bonded with, was it Gary? Was it Gary or? Goff. He's bonded with Goff. You know what I mean? Like that fucking scene where he draws the peace symbol. You know, it's like, oh shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that last episode is wild. It was fucking fun. And I guess we just talk about it now, right? There's a cameo at the end.
Yeah, the big cameo.
Big spoilers for the finale of Peacemaker. If you have not seen Peacemaker at all, don't watch this part. If you haven't seen the finale of Peacemaker, don't watch this part.
I've seen it on social media.
Yeah, it pretty much blew up social media, which again, I was like, pat on the back to James Gunn. Very fucking cool. And even the way they did it, right? Let's talk about it. Okay. So in the very final minute,
everything's done. Peacemaker and the gang have done it. They've destroyed the cow. You know, and I guess getting rid of most of the butterflies. They walk out. He's walking out with hardcore. She's knocked out. Leota's, you know, helping economists. He has a broken leg.
Yeah. Vigilante's there.
You know, so they all made it.
And I thought James Gunn was going to kill all those fuckers. I was like, oh, they're not making it. But no, they're pretty banged up.
And all of a sudden, you just see lightning come out. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you see like the pitchfork and everything, and the man in with the cave and
floating.
You're like, what the fuck?
The woman with the shield. You're like, oh shit!
I was like, whoa! I was like, it's the Justice League.
Justice League has arrived. To which, what does Peacemaker say?
Like, you're fucking late, you dickheads.
Which, like, what fucking balls, right?
Oh man, I laughed so hard when he said that.
Dude, I was laughing too, man. I was like, because at first I'm like fucking like geeking, but then I'm like,
and then so they're not really showing them. So I was like, oh okay, and then he walks past by Aquaman. He's like, go fuck a fish.
Yeah, which is a running joke throughout, right?
And it's Jason Momoa. You see, I'm like, holy shit! Like Jason Momoa actually.
And he's in the Aquaman suit, and he's like, what does he say to him? He's like, so fucking sick of that. He's saying that. And then it like pans over to Flash.
Ezra Miller.
Yeah, Ezra Miller. You're like, what the fuck?
He's like, it's not a rumor.
Yeah.
and he's like, fuck you, Barry.
Fuck you, Barry. I'm like, the fucking Justice League, all that shit, all the weed and shit, all this fucking 4-hour Snyderverse, give the people what they want, the right cut, this serious fucking movie, right? This fucking piece of art movie. And it's like, we just saw the Justice League. Two members. One of them tells the other one, "It's not a joke that you fuck fish," and then the other one tells him, "Fuck you." I'm like, Aquaman just said, "Fuck you." Like, I'm like, dude, that's fucking great. Like, great job, James Gunn.
And not only that, but just for Peacemaker to say, you're fucking late, you dickheads. You call Superman,
Superman and Wonder Woman are there. Now, mind you, now the other little story is that there's no Cyborg and there's no Batman,
which is fine. I mean, you have Superman there. You have Wonder Woman there.
Number one, AA. You were already starting to say it. You saw the pitchfork, you saw lightning. If it would have never panned into the characters and it would have just been the silhouettes, this is how iconic the goddamn DC universe is. Mm-hmm. You could do, when we saw Shazam, they were able to shoot, they owned the suit, you could shoot a lot of scenes like that.
With it.
Yeah. You could always have him streaking through the sky, the red and blue cape. Yep. And you know who the fuck it is. It's like, it's the GOAT. You know what I mean? It's like, there he is. You know what I mean? It's like, they did Wonder Woman very well in this one with her with the shield, the hair. It's like, at this point, we know that that's Wonder Woman. I mean, and if they would have been able to, I don't know what the story was. But
even if the movie hadn't came out and you just saw that silhouette, you would have known it was Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Anytime you want to use Batman, all you got to do is show a set of fucking ears and white eyes, and you know who it is. You don't need an actor.
Nope.
These characters are that fucking iconic, So I thought exactly like you. I was like, oh, they're not going to zoom in, but that's. I was like, that's fucking neat, and you get it.
I loved it that they just showed them too. I was fine with it. You know,
yeah. Oh no, perfect. And by the way, how about this? Pat on the back to fucking Ezra Miller, right? All this new movie that's coming out for him. It's supposed to be his movie, but all we've been mainly hearing about is Michael Keaton, which is cool. And it's neat about this Supergirl that's going to come out. That's really cool. But dude, this guy has traveled to the TV verse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes, and now he's in the fucking Peacemaker. I'm like, dude, fucking hats off to Ezra Miller, man.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Because he's probably like, you know what? This is probably going to be the wrong, always going to be known for. Fuck it.
Like, the guy seems like he's loving being Flash. And you know what James Gunn said? He said that he thought it was going to just be Jason Momoa, but he said that he did reach out, and then he was like, "Yeah, like I'll fucking definitely do it." It's like, hey, another chance for me to put the suit on, because you're like, I don't know how long this is gonna last, because everyone's making it sound like that DCU is dead. That fucking one,
sounds like.
But dude, this just shows us, right? Double A, it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to.
You could always get get Henry Cavill to come out for one day, put the suit on, film a bunch of shit, film a bunch of scenes, and you can just cut them in. It's like, like the guy says he wants to be your Superman. He doesn't have to have a Superman movie, but you could have lots of other shit going on.
Just like what they did with the Hulk.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, the movie flopped, but you know what? We put him in this movie. We put him in this movie. We put him in this movie.
Right.
All of a sudden, you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, I haven't thought about a Hulk movie.
Right.
Because I see him in Thor. I see him in the Avengers. I see him in this movie.
One of the things people said about Snyder Cut, right, is they're like, oh, the lead kind of really shifted from Superman to Cyborg when you saw Snyderverse or whatever, right? But it didn't change the fact that when he started fucking whipping ass and showed up and beat the fuck out of everybody at the end, Steppenwolf at the end, like beat his ass fucking bad, like a bitch, that it was like, that's really all I need from Superman. That's fucking awesome.
That was great.
I need that when y'all are down and out, the chips are all fucking gone, and you're like, man, where's Big Blue? He shows up and does his thing. It's like, that's good. That's my Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One. That's my Duel of Fates. That's like, I blew my fucking geek load. That was fucking awesome. You know what I mean? It's like, there he is. How many No Way Home moments can you have, Double A, where you just have Superman fucking pop up and you're like, oh shit, all hope was lost, and it's Luke Skywalker on the fucking ship, you know what I mean? And Mando and Grogu are about to get dealt with by these robots, and he just come and tears the house down. You could fucking recreate that over and over again. Fuck, the truth is, man, there's like so much Batman out there. And like you said, there's so much Batman out there, Double A, that we haven't even gotten. Man, you could have made Ben Affleck the Dark Knight Batman. We could have got that story. You could have made fucking Pattinson the Terry Batman. We could have got that story. All you're doing is rehashing the same fucking Batman story. I heard it on a podcast a while. On Jerry's episode I did on Batman '89 and Returns. We did for Totally Rad Christmas. CJ, one of his guests, CJ Berlanga, talked about, we just need a break from Batman. He goes, I love Batman. He's my favorite character. He goes, but we need a 5-year break with no Batman so we can miss Batman. So they can do something different with Batman. But what about if in that time, the only time you see Batman is the same way you can use him exactly like you use Superman, where it's like when the chips are down, a street level character, and then you see the silhouette, the horns, that fucking white eyes rise up. I always think about that episode of animated series I talked about where he's like, what are you going to do with the cape and cowl? He's like, I'm going to wear them. And you see it rise up. And even he's like, oh, I'm like, dude, thinking about it gives me chills. Like, it would be like, that's a cool way to use. At this point, they're that iconic. It would be very, very fucking cool.
Like I said, I would have liked if Pattinson was either Terry McGinnis or Nightwing. I would have preferred those two.
God, yeah, man.
I would have preferred those.
There's so many Batman stories that we're not getting. I'm like, did you guys only read one set of the fucking books? I'm like, this guy has a literally limitless fucking, as bigger than his rogues gallery, amount of tales to tell that are great of Batman. I'm like, come on now, I'm even feeling like a little bit, I'm like, man, y'all are really like getting kind of stuck on the Joker. It's like, where's our Clayface?
See, where's our good Mr. Freeze? That's what I started hating about the X-Men movies. It was like Magneto. I was like, like, man, where's the other X-Men villains?
And then we get Apocalypse, and you're like, oof. This is not what we hoped
But
for.
I was excited though when they
because it was different.
Because it was different. It was kind of like, all right, cool, no more Magneto.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't hate that movie. Double A. I went in with like the lowest expectations I could have, and I remember feeling like about halfway through, I was like, I'd watch this again. This isn't that bad. I think I own a copy.
I mean, Oscar Isaac's performance is good. It's just there's something missing, I guess.
He looks shitty.
Yeah,
I saw concept art, and man, I was like, that fucking looks badass. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, who is saying looks at that and is like, nah.
Yeah.
They gave him the mouth with the big
Yes.
you know, and I was like, man, that looks fucking cool, man. I'm like, you know, he would have probably been more CGI, but who cares? Excuse me.
You know, James Brolin, Thanos.
Fantastic. I just watched Endgame 2 weeks ago, and I was like, man, this fucking movie is amazing. Amazing. I think we're way off from Peacemaker.
And then, real quick too, so that little piece of information came out too, that apparently Marvel helped out directing that scene at the end.
With the Justice League?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Somehow, he said that DC helped out Marvel with Guardians, a scene in Guardians. So this was kind of like a payback for like the Marvel crew was helping out James Gunn with this one. You didn't hear it?
I didn't hear that.
Supposedly, I think on that podcast.
That's
the last episode.
I haven't heard that last episode yet. That's so there fucking was like news a big to
link.
Me.
That was like a big link between Marvel and DC. You got to check that out.
I guess that's the true Forbidden Door, right?
I mean, you know, yeah, it's just Marvel's become big now. So I mean, yeah.
Well, I don't know if you saw the article I posted on our page
with the
George Perez. They're going to re-release, right? Yes. And that I didn't know that it's kind of hard to come by. You know, Mario Delgado, Authority Comics, taught me that. Yeah, he was saying that some of the issues go for production. Even the JLA Avengers one, especially that last issue.
On the corner, over here, top right.
Yeah, this one.
Right.
Top right. Yeah, that one. But also the JLA Avengers one.
The George Bennett one?
Yeah. Like, well, number one, that series, the DC versus Marvel series, excuse me, guys, I'm for the listeners, I'm pointing to Double A's wall, the DC versus Marvel issue 1, but also the issue 4 of the JLA Avengers. Remember where it's Superman with Cap shield and Thor's hammer. Yeah. And it's like, it's a really badass fucking cover, man. I would love a poster of that bitch. And that one, I mean, it's not easy to come by anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, and the graded one is a lot. Oh, yeah, I was like, holy shit. And I was like, these were like, you could just grab them at one time. Yeah. So, but what we were trying to mention briefly was I posted an article on the on our Just Another Friday Night page and on the Friday Night Faithful group that they're going to re-release the 4 issues of DC versus Marvel from George Bettis, and I think that the proceeds are going to go to the foundation.
I believe.
Yeah, because he's obviously sick, right? With
he's going to pass away.
Yeah, it fucking sucks, man.
Within probably this year, they've already said.
Yeah, you had the honor of meeting him, correct?
Yes, I did, man, and he was awesome, and like I said, he was doing it for free, and like
what did he sign for you?
Man, see, that's the thing though. I wish I could have took something up. So I took my Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Trade paperback.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like probably consider his big story.
Sure.
But man,
Supergirl. Right?
He did the art for Infinity Gauntlet.
I
didn't take that one.
Yeah.
And I had Starling sign that one. Man, that would have been so cool. Now looking
both.
back to have both. I only took that one. And
would you have even thought about getting DC versus Marvel signed?
No,
it's too low, right?
No, because I mean, there's so much other stuff.
I know it's so hard, right?
Like so much other stuff.
Although, according to what you said, you probably could have took everything, and he would have signed it all.
And people were
what
taking
a nice guy.
big batches. And I heard someone ask him, they were like, how come you're doing this for free? You could be like making a killing at these. He goes, that he gets so much royalties that I don't know what kind of contract that he did. He must have had a badass contract. He must have been really smart about it.
Yeah.
That he gets royalties from like shows, from video games, from shit like that. That he's able to be comfortable. Because I know there are some comic writers and artists that kind of are like, they get fucked. So I don't know what kind of contract that he signed where he's enjoying the benefits of his work. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, so I was like, man. So,
sometimes someone like you have like a brother-in-law or whatever that's like a lawyer, and he's like, hey, man, like, protect your shit.
Maybe that's what happened. So, but George Bettis' art is almost everywhere. If you have any comic from the 80s, he's a guy that's pretty much has drawn everybody. Yeah. The Infinity Gauntlet series. The whole Marvel cast is on there. That Crisis on Infinite Earths.
that whole DC universe is on there.
He's this famous cover to with Thanos with the gauntlet with the thing. Wow, that's awesome. It's a little bit different style than we're used to seeing of him. But
that's what I'm saying. His work is everywhere. Obviously, he made Teen Titans. Him and Marv Wolfman. He made Teen Titans the #1 book for DC during the 80s. It wasn't Superman. It wasn't Batman. It was Teen Titans. He's the designer of Nightwing. You know, him and Marv Wolfman created that character.
With the high collar suit first, the first Nightwing suit. Yeah,
I mean, Nightwing is their creation.
But it's funny because so much of that art from that time is kind of like how you imagine those characters look or whatever.
I mean, so. and then when you look at like Rob Liefeld or Jim Lee, you can see a lot of the influence there too in theirs, in their work. You know, I mean, it's pretty much there from the next batch of artists. And then, like I said earlier, too, they are the creators of Vigilante.
Oh, yeah.
And his first appearance is like him on the cover with almost that exact same outfit that he has on the show. I mean, it's almost the exact same one.
Way to bring it back, Double A.
Right?
We had gotten really far from Peacemaker. I
was really surprised. So his first appearance is in a new Teen Titans book.
Very badass. And it's affordable.
Right now it is. Right now it's like $25 the last time I checked on eBay, which is probably way more than I would have thought. I was like, damn.
Well, come on, the fact that we would even be considering buying a Vigilante.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I would have thought it would have been there for like $2 or something. You know? And I make sure it was Adrian Chase, because apparently there's been other Vigilantes though.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, all good stuff. Obviously, man,
the show is just fine. I've been trying to reach out to everyone. I mean, it's just a really badass show. It's hard rated R.
Well, apparently enough people reached out because Season 2 is going to happen.
Yeah,
so
which
that's
I was
great.
happy about.
Yeah, me too. Very happy about that.
I'm sure Cena is. I'm sure James Gunn is. So, I mean, that's awesome.
It seems like they're having fun with it. I hope Gunn stays attached. Because, I mean, obviously,
I hope so too.
It needs his vision, I think,
it seems
to be
like
what
this
it
is something that he really loved doing. And if he really did bond with Cena that way, I would imagine they don't want someone else coming in.
Yeah, and he said that the next Guardians is the last one. That Guardians is done. So, it seems like he's moving on.
Now, the only thing is, though, and I wanted to talk to you about this. Leota does come out though on a press conference and kind of starts outing out a lot of the stuff that Amanda Waller is doing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Amanda's like, fuck. So, and Amanda Waller's a character that I don't think she gives a shit if that is her daughter or not.
She's very ruthless. Very ruthless.
I don't know. I didn't like that she did that. I think Leota should have thought about it more.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just thinking the woman that she's raised her is different. But
I'm not gonna lie to you, Double A. Up until that last scene when she sees her wife, I thought that we were gonna see a red dot.
I thought so too.
I was like, dude, are they gonna kill the wife? Are they gonna blow up the apartment? I was like, Amanda Waller is a fucking bitch.
At first, I thought Hardcore maybe dying. Economist, I thought, because it looks like he becomes a warden, maybe.
Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah.
I was like, oh, why are they showing everyone after that whole scene? I was kind of like, oh shit.
It almost felt like a scene where it was gonna be like, this is her she's taking him out.
Yeah, because she pretty much informs everyone that there's Task Force X, which is the name, the official name.
Yeah,
it's not Suicide Squad.
She blows the lid off of it.
She blows the fucking lid off
of it. After the Suicide Squad, it was successful, right? The Interstellar one. Has it been talked about? There hasn't been about a sequel.
See, the thing is that it wasn't successful because it just got released
on HBO Max.
Well, no, it got released in theaters, but it was still during this time when a lot of people were not coming to the theaters. Yeah. So, I mean, it had to take a movie like Spider-Man for people to come. If you see other movies recently, no one's even coming close to the fucking money that Spider-Man was making. Yeah. I mean, it's back to everyone's afraid to go to the theater, which rightfully so.
Yeah.
But no, this movie made so much less money than the first one. I mean, I don't know if they're going to try another third one. Peacemaker looks like it's a good option. The streaming looks like it's just a better option for a lot of shows like this.
Yeah.
But man, I was like, holy shit, if they're going to do a season 2, man, I'm thinking Waller's going to
be after them.
Well, maybe the daughter, maybe
maybe I don't know, because Peacemaker hasn't done really anything. He's not like he's running his mouth.
Oh no, but she's the type that's like, I don't.
But maybe she might send Peacemaker to go kill her. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which I mean, if you saw at the end too, he's like, don't tell V, but after Eagly, you're my BFF.
Which I like that. I like their bond. I like their bond. Yeah, I like that too. And it's so funny because even in that moment, I was like, man, what the fuck, like. Waller ain't gonna let that shit go. You know what I mean? Because, and again, it has ramifications because it means that, there really can't be another Suicide Squad movie because, well, they're outed. You know what I mean?
I don't think they're gonna try again. It's gonna be hard to get like a whole new cast of characters again like that. I mean, like I said, I never heard of Bloodsport before. I had never heard of Peacemaker before. I had never heard of like a lot of those characters.
I think the only one we heard of maybe was Starro.
Yeah, Starro.
I was like, wow. Which I thought I was like, if you would have asked us at one time, could you ever make Starro in a movie? I'd be like, no.
I mean, like, Superman would just go through it. Would just fly through it and kill it.
I ended up fucking feeling for Starro at the end of that movie. I was like, man.
My wife always cries when he speaks through that genre.
Dude, that shit was fucking bleak, yo. Like, I was like, oh, man.
Like, fucking humans. Why can't we just let him float in space?
Yeah. Dude, your wife is right, dude. Dude, like, between that and the rat catcher scene with the dad, I was like, what the fuck? Like, all my emotions just came out. I was like, this is not cool. I was having a good time. Which, I mean, it's still an absolutely wonderful and underrated movie, The Suicide Squad.
I loved it. And a lot of people that did see it loved it.
Yeah.
They totally said that it was way better than part one.
He said in the podcast, the first episode I heard, he said, man, within a week of it coming out, everyone I knew had seen it.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm not used to that because I guess maybe like in Hollywood, like since they all work in the business, it's hard to go to the movies. Like if you're not like at the premiere.
Yeah.
And I've even heard like a lot of people don't stay at the premiere. They just kind of like, you just walk the red carpet and then you leave. Yeah, they say Denzel never watches his movies. But again, I get it. It's kind of like, I don't know. Maybe I don't get it because I would definitely stay. But maybe it's kind of like, man, I did this for the last fucking half a year of my life. I don't want to fucking see any more of it or whatever. Although, to me, I would because it's like, well, you're just doing your parts. You don't see the full vision until the end.
Yeah, because I heard that was a big thing with Tom Hardy was that he couldn't see what George Miller was trying to direct him in Mad Max. And that he was like a big pain in the ass to George Miller like the whole fucking time because he couldn't get what George Miller was trying to tell him, was trying to direct him, and George Miller was like, trust me, just do what I'm fucking telling you. So when he saw the movie, he apologized to George Miller and was like, I'm sorry, I just couldn't see what you were trying to tell me. And,
I barely saw that myself the first time in the last maybe like I would say 3 or 4 months, which I know is a crime because it was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
which I liked it a lot, but I was kind of like, I don't know if I see it. But dude, it's like we were talking the other day about the fucking, we're sidetracking again, but about No Way Home moving up in the U.S. domestic.
Yes.
And you were saying how it wouldn't beat
Force
Awakens.
No movie's ever going to.
Which I was like, wow, it's that one. It's Force Awakens. And I'm like, interesting. But it made me think too. Then I looked at the world, and it's like Avatar's still number 1.
Avatar, because they re-released it.
Yeah, I remember that happened.
For some fucking reason.
And I was like,
I
don't own a copy of that movie. I never want to rewatch
you know what? It came out at a perfect time when 3D again. He made 3D come alive again.
And I love.
But that story is
it's
not,
Zoe, right? Is Zoe?
Yeah, that story's just not that great.
It's not great. That guy's not that great.
No, Sam Worthington blows.
What's his name is great. The old man.
From Ike Kleinen. Shit, I forgot his name.
Is that him? Powers Boot?
No, Ike.
Oh, Ike. Yeah. Wow, that's him, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, he looks a lot better in that one. He's cut. Right? Yeah. I heard they had wanted him for Cable.
And that's what I was like so hoping for. I was like, man, that would have been so badass if he had been Cable. He looked just like fucking Cable.
And Brolin was badass though.
He was, but man, I already had him fixed in my head, especially in Avatar. I was like, man, that's fucking Cable. That's fucking Cable big time. I don't know. I don't know what it is about that fucking movie that exploded that year. I did see it at the theater. It was pretty cool looking to see it at 3D. 3D. No, but the 3D. The story fucking sucked. I mean, it's just it was...
That's one of those movies, Double A, that we say like, come on, they could have tightened that bitch up. There's parts that drag. To be honest with you, to this day, I think I've only seen it in its entirety, beginning to end, one time in the theater. Then, like, I probably caught parts of it again here and there, but it's never one of the ones we say, do you stop on it? Nope. No. I changed that bitch. I don't own a copy. I never have a desire to watch it. Nope. Sometimes I even desire to watch Fellowship or fucking Return, or definitely the Two Towers, because I love the end. Yep. I'm like, and those movies get like, those are long and can be kind of dry. I'm like, Deathly Hallows Part 1. They could have made that one movie. I could watch that one over this. It's just like I can watch Titanic before I never desire to watch Avatar. Like I'm like, man, this shit was kind of like, this is like, it was kind of whack.
It's gonna be hard to ever pass up Force Awakens though in the U.S. though.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be super hard. Force Awakens has like 900 and something mil in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's just. I mean, it was Star Wars. People were hungry for Star Wars again when it came out. I mean, and it was huge. Man, do you remember when it came out?
Yeah, I do. But that's such a gross representation of that, because that's like by far not even the best Star Wars.
It's not the best one, but
it was about timing.
No, but I mean, it was like when Phantom Menace came out. Remember, Phantom Menace almost came close to making $1 billion on its initial, which was unheard of at that time. In 1999. No movie had even come close, I think, but Titanic that made like $1 billion.
Right.
I mean, it was just unheard of, and it made 900 something. And Phantom Menace is by far rated always as the worst Star Wars movie.
Well, we could say though, then, well, let's just say this: like, if they made another Skywalker saga movie, it would be the 10th movie.
Yeah, it would be,
right?
Yeah.
That potentially could. Are they accounting for inflation? Because
no.
I thought when you account for inflation, Gone with the Wind
with the Wind is still by
so it
far,
will never be touched.
No, that movie is like, golly, that movie. Yeah. Even like I think Avengers Endgame doesn't even touch it, or Avatar, they don't touch it.
Yeah, interesting. McCullough McKnight in the house from YouTube says Yun Rent. I don't know. Is this are you a bot, McCullough? I don't know.
I think so.
Maybe. But yeah, so interesting. I know we were talking about Peacemaker. We got all the way into domestic grosses.
I
kind of wanted to talk to you about that, because I was like, what? Like, some of that's just unbelievable. Like, I want to see Spider-Man go. That's why I'm going to go tomorrow, and I'm going to add to Spider-Man's pocketbook. I mean, like, I want to see fucking re-release Endgame. Watch that bitch again.
I would.
And I would have it released to fans like us or whatever. And that way we fucking push it over again.
Oh, man.
So we can have that experience one more time, that experience of seeing all that scene at the end, man. Pretty great. And then cut in all the super, like the Jerry showed with all the extra characters.
Hey, maybe Peacemaker would come out dancing.
Damn,
from
Peacemaker. I love that, man. It's fucking so great. What's gonna happen in season 2? I know we're kind of talking.
It's gotta be the Waller thing.
He's chasing them down, right? And they look out for each other because they're kind of like family. Plus, what do we see? What does Christopher Smith, Peacemaker, do? We find out. Harcourt, he always had the hots for her. She's like, I heard you never left. You were here the whole time.
The thing though, too, I'm wondering about is that obviously he's still part of that program. How long is he actually going to be free before they put his ass back in jail again?
Yeah,
I don't think
he still has the chip, right?
Yeah, I don't blow his head up. Well, not just that, but I mean, I don't think he's out completely.
Yeah,
that's just 2 missions.
Yeah, that's true.
So his ass might just be going back.
Yeah.
And then Waller's going to be obviously going to go after Leota, most likely. Mm-hmm. Maybe she gets Harcourt to help her. Maybe she gets
we might see the wife die in the season 2.
Vigilante, I don't know what's going on. He's going to follow Peacemaker.
Yeah, wherever. I'm surprised he wasn't following him at fucking jail. Dude, Vigilante is fucking...
Oh, man. Adrian Chase was badass.
Dude, as people say, the young people say Vigilante was a real one, man. I'm like, yo, everyone needs a boy like Vigilante.
Oh, man.
He didn't give a fuck, man. So, I'm excited for him, man. I can't wait. Great series. AA, if this was on able to buy it, I will buy it.
I'll buy it too.
I would rewatch it.
Yeah.
And you guys know those are my two highest things. I'm glad I have it on HBO Max. I will rewatch it.
I am gonna watch it.
I did not get to rewatch it because we don't normally do a turnaround this fast, but I highly look forward to rewatching it because it was fucking so much fun.
Yeah, it was.
It was so much, I was hoping they would put the Peacemaker on Fortnite because it would have been badass. Which, by the way, at the time of the last episode, they added Black Chrysanthemum and Fennec.
Right. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So yeah. I got nothing else, Double A, other than a great ass show, man.
Yeah.
Who knew?
It's streaming right now, all 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
And watch the Suicide Squad first if you haven't seen it. Like,
yes.
Give yourself some setup.
You know what? That's actually good. Watch the Suicide Squad first.
That would be just a fun fucking weekend.
Yeah.
The whole thing is fun. It's a great watch. Get some fucking beers. Get some friends over that don't believe this shit and show them that, like, superhero movies can be different. Pop culture can be different. It's not like, it's not as hardcore as The Boys.
No.
Because The Boys is very fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
And it's not as like, PG-13 as maybe, like, let's say some of the Marvel stuff or whatever. With no offense to Marvel, because I love that PG-13
oh yeah,
shit.
No, what Marvel does great.
Yeah. This Squad and we're a Peacemaker, and it does it group of individuals and it caters to that group very, very well. And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. I was watching us along tonight. I don't know about the video. It probably went in and out. Probably the audio chopped in and out. I'm gonna try to listen back. We'll get a good take somewhere to put up. It'll be up everywhere, and we'll only do this one take. So you do your podcast in one take. Tell me how it fucking turns out for you. Probably not that good, whatever. So we got to start talking about it though.
I loved it. Yeah.
Anything else? Double anything we should bring up, or talk about, or mention?
No, just again, watch out for the episodes CM's going to be doing for
thank you.
The podcast. And vote for the Raddies.
Yes, go vote for us from the Raddies. It's a Google Doc. It's on our Friday Night Faithful on our Facebook page as well.
And if you're new, you're watching somewhere, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes,
we're trying to get to 100.
We're up to 69 right now. Yeah, we do like that number, but guys. Also, if you don't know what happened tonight, a new shirt was born and debuted from the mad, macabre, mind of one Chris Rizzo of Invincible Comics and more, and he created us a new shirt. It is literally an animated Double A and I facing off head to head, almost like what's the famous cover? The X-Men?
Giant size X-Men.
Yeah, giant size X-Men style of us facing off with Joe and Lucky, our good friends at Now Watch This. We would never face off with them unless it was a battle of the beards, maybe Double A's beard versus Lucky's beard.
Lucky would beat me.
Yeah,
I don't have it.
And mine versus Joe's, in which I would think that I would give me more over Joe's. I got a little bit more, Plus the birthmark gives me like an edge. But so we might be 1-1. It might be just a tie. Yeah, right. I mean,
right.
And again, Double A, it's very rare that I say someone beats your beard. It's a very fine beard, dye beard, not dye beard.
I don't let it grow that long though.
Lucky. Dude, you could have it. You could have the Scott Ian if you wanted, Double A.
I could, but I don't want to.
A lot of maintenance, right?
Want to.
Good friend of the pod.
Ugly.
Yeah, good friend of the pod. Chad has a long a long thick one or whatever. Is a good bud of all of ours here. Yeah, man. Peacemaker, guys, go check it out. HBO Max.
HBO Max. All 8 episodes are streaming.
It's there. Go watch it.
Like CM said, watch the Suicide Squad first. It leads straight into Peacemaker.
Yeah, it's a good companion piece. It's a good.
And if you're watching the Suicide Squad, watch after the end credits.
Yeah, definitely watch the end credits. There's the end credit scene in the Suicide Squad, and it makes
it goes, like I said, it just
goes a direct lead into Peacemaker, and we all like when those stories continue, so that's fun.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it at all. Was that damn Lord of the Rings trailer that came out for the show?
Oh yeah. But I mean, that's not going to come out for a while.
Yeah. So. Did you watch the Hobbit one? I think we talked about.
I saw the first one.
Really?
2 friends of mine dragged me, and I fell asleep for that fucking first one, and I didn't even bother with.
Hey man, I love Star Wars like nothing else. I'm like, well, I went to see the Clone Wars, the animated movie, the first one, and I fell asleep in that.
Yeah, everyone told me that movie.
And I tried to rewatch it too, like on Disney, and I was like, this is kind of tough. And then I
Yeah.
read a lot about it. People were like, these episodes early on are tough because
Yeah.
you're like, maybe it was meant like really, really for kids, like they weren't sure, and it's like
Yeah.
now they tightened up their act, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
a lot. So, yeah, guys, go check out the new shirt at threelegedrabbit.com. It's so fun just to look at Rizzo's art. And I'm gonna, right after this gets done and I put this episode up, I'm gonna buy me a one right there. I don't know what we're talking about next week, but maybe I'll wear it. So
Oh yeah.
If there's nothing else, Double A,
No, man.
No?
Let's cut it.
let's get it out of here, guys. All right, so something we like to say at the end of every show is two things, actually. One thing is we want to remind you guys, if there's something that you want to do, a hope, a dream, a wish you have to accomplish or aspire to, what do we say, Double A?
Seize the day.
Seize the day, man. Today's the day. Carpe diem, right?
Yeah.
In Latin.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for? Go do it. You
Yeah.
know, start your own podcast. Go watch The Peacemaker. Go create The Peacemaker. You know, what is it you want to do? Don't waste any more time, man. Seize the day. The right time for it is now. And the other thing we'd like to say is, again, we modeled it right after the words of the great Steve Rogers, Captain America himself, in Endgame before they go back on the time heist. And he knows that they've only got one shot at this. And he gives that amazing speech, one of the greatest in all of cinema, I will say. Even Ant-Man agrees.
And Rocket.
And Rocket, yeah.
Hey, he's really good at that.
He's really good at that. Yeah, he is. Yeah, and he tells you, we got to do whatever it takes. You know what I mean? So sometimes, you know, those things that are part of the day that you got to see seem undoable or unreachable, unattainable, but they're not. So you got to do whatever it takes to do that. You got to work that extra hour. You got to, you know, sell that thing and make the money for it or whatever. You know what I mean? You got to come to your, you know, cousin who's also one of your best friends' house and say, hey, we're going to open up this laptop and deal with technical difficulties fucking randomly and make this podcast. And you might have been recording for 2 hours and might not have anything. We hope not. But you do it. You do whatever it takes and you make it happen. And if not, you had a good time doing it, but you did it. So that's it, guys. Great episode for us. Great episode about The Peacemaker. We want you to go watch it. We're going to probably go watch it again.
I am.
I'm CM Chuck.
I'm Double A.
And this has been Just Another Friday Night. You guys have a good night.